Have you noticed that I don't...
Subject. Oh man, what's good? I've been around. What's up? What's up? Welcome. How is everybody? How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. I know it's late for some of y'all. You up for the live, K? That's what's up. Can providers be objects? Definitely. Definitely. You can objectify, man, in that way. Yo, back from vacation. How y'all been? We've been good. We've been good. Trying to leave East Coasters out with these lives. Nah, I'm sorry. I'll be back. I'll be back to my regular business hours soon. I just been a little bit out of whack from 9 to 6. That's what's up. Start coming on early in the morning. Nah, I usually go on earlier in the morning, but I haven't been able to the last couple of days. Well, yesterday I took off in the daytime. Like I didn't do anything until later at night. Then I went live. But today I had to, like I did all my other work earlier. I did stuff for YouTube and stuff. And like, just like whatever stuff I needed to do in general, just for my pages. But then I had to postpone going live later because I had people at my house. The cleaners came over earlier today. And I didn't have access to my equipment until they left. So there's that. Oh yeah, man, what's good? Are you coming on that? I'm going to bed. You coming out now, and I'm going to bed. Well, I'm sorry. What up, Logic? What's good with it, man? Hey, what up? What up, YouTubes? I see y'all. What's good with it? I don't know what's going on. Look like we at 71 people. Something going on with the algorithm. I might have to restart the live on TikTok. I don't know what's going on. Some weird shit. Thank you. Yeah, I might have to restart the live on TikTok. I'll be right back. Yo, y'all, we going live right now on TikTok, man. Come join us. It's a late live, but it's alive. We in this thing, man. Who gets objectified the most, men or women? Let's see what y'all got to say. Come join us in the live. Yo, what's up, everybody? About to go live right now on TikTok. We on YouTube too, so come join us. Definitely talking about who gets objectified more, men or women. Late live, but it's still alive though. Come join us. All right. It's up. I had to end the live on TikTok. I don't know what was going on. That shit was like, I don't know what was happening. It was acting brand new though. I don't know what I don't know what went wrong, but I felt like I needed to restart it. So it was tripping. So I restarted it. But I'm back over there on the YouTubes. Is it Hathor? Hathor? Appreciate the new member. Y'all know we got the emotes going in the for all the new members or for the members you could use the emotes. Definitely make sure you take advantage of those during the live. Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. But let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Who objectifies who more, men or women? What's good? What's good? How do I think I get over trauma? I don't know. It's a good question. Identify it. First step. Accept it. Men objectifying women, Zena says. Yep, I could agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Men objectifying women. Yeah. Let's like the live though, man. Let's keep liking the live. We almost there. Have you ever watched gold digger pranks on YouTube? I've seen a few of them. They're really stupid. I just started the live. Only reason I say this is because of capitalism. Only reason is because of capitalism. Thanks, game nerd mom, for the sub. Got the East Coast up past our bedtime. Y'all, it's 10 o'clock, man. You know, I know it's kind of late. It would be late for me too. Acknowledge it before you can identify it. You got it. Well, I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think you got it. Yeah. I don't know which one comes first, but yeah. It's tough though. Whatever, Gina. We just getting started. We ain't even got started yet. We just getting in this thing. Most women work. So how is it women? I don't know. Let's see what they got to say. Let's see what they got to say about it. We need ops only. Please don't come up here at this point in time. We need the ops. Men definitely do it more. More women are unpacking misogyny. Yeah, I agree. Women are the ones objected the most. In what ways are women objectified? Give me some of them. Lay them out. Why is it quiet? Can you guys hear me? I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I know they can hear me on the YouTubes, but for Schmecks. Okay, so for their bodies, right? We got their bodies in there. What else? Mm-hmm. Well, women are just prettier than men. Okay. But how are they objectified? Right? That's the question that I want to know. Men have been dehumanized so much. That's an interesting take. I'm interested in that. Alex, come up and explain that to me. What up, Alex?
What up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, man.
All right, let me put my headphones in.
Yeah, you're good.
You know, the dehumanization of men has gotten to a point where we don't even really notice it anymore.
Interesting.
Like,
how are men dehumanized?
Men, I feel like, are expected, maybe not expected is the right word, but just kind of thought of as being like these emotionless, like just constantly always thinking about sex and power and all these things. And it's like, the men that I know and that I have relationships with are a lot more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the kind of the worst of what we assume of each other gets projected onto these kind of social media conversations. And I think that it's like a race to the bottom of like how quickly we can just dismiss each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So who dehumanized men? Who did that to men?
Well, that's an interesting question because I think that the question of who did it, obviously it's easy to say, oh, well, men created this system, so men are the ones who should bear the responsibility, and I agree with that to a certain extent. But I also, just in my personal life, like I know a lot of women who are very, very much kind of in the bag for the patriarchy, right? Like I know lots of, especially elderly women, who really hate seeing women in power, and who really hate to see women in their power, even in their personal lives. So I think that all of us have work to do to kind of dismantle this this patriarchal system that has allowed us to dehumanize each other on both sides. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do know that there are women who have internalized misogyny, but I asked specifically who started who created the the society that dehumanizes men the way that people do. That's what I want to know. And who dehumanizes men the most would be my next question. Women dehumanize men. Okay. I'm gonna let Alex answer too, and then we'll open it up for both of y'all to have the discussion.
Well, and see, I don't even know if it's that simple, because I think that in general, if you were just to say, okay, who's dehumanizing men, I think that it's anybody who subscribes to the patriarchy.
Who created the patriarchy?
Are you asking about like individual people?
No, I'm saying what group of people created the patriarchy?
So were there no women that were involved in like the establishment of the patriarchy?
No. That's like saying there was black people involved in the establishment of racism.
Were there not, though?
No. That's a weird question. No.
So there were no black slave owners in the South.
That's not. Racism was created before slaves even touched down in America. So both of y'all don't know what y'all talking about already. I said racism.
Slaves been in America, bro. If you want to do
Racism has existed way longer than whiteness has existed.
No, it hasn't. The concept of race was invented like 500-600 years ago. What are you talking about? In Portugal.
When did we have a universal concept of whiteness?
Probably, I don't know, 200-300. Whiteness, yeah, around that time. Universal, I don't know. That happened later. Universally, it happened like in the late 1800s, around the industrialization of America. But before that, whiteness was invented, like I said, about 600 years ago or so. So race was invented about 600 years ago. Well before slaves were in America. Well before.
Just to address the comments, I didn't bring up race.
Niggas on both. Y'all niggas crazy, bro.
Well, Burberry, hold on. Burberry, hold on. Wait. I'm not here. Don't derail the conversation. I don't care about y'all YouTube fucking knowledge base conspiracy theories about slaves being in America. Don't care about it at all. Hold on. I got you. So my question is, so getting back on topic, no, black people weren't there for the invention of race, just like women weren't there for the invention of the patriarchy. And the patriarchy was Burberry, please be quiet. Burberry, seriously. Can you be I'm dead serious. Can you be quiet, or do I have to drop you? Because I don't know why you can't just be quiet while I'm talking. Is that too much to ask for?
I'll be quiet. I'm sorry.
Thank you. So
stop spreading lies, bro.
Okay, man. I got you. So anyways, yeah, so when men invented the patriarchy, and I think that it's very disingenuous, Alex, for you to try to act like women had a role in it, to keep blaming women when you know that men created it. You're just trying to find a way to blame women. Like, weren't women involved? But why?
Hold on. I'm not trying to put it squarely on women.
I know you want. No. I know what you're trying to do. I know exactly what you're trying to do. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say you're trying to blame women for everything, but you're trying to make them culpable as well as to deflect and act like, oh, you're just doing you're all lives mattering the situation, right? Like, oh yeah, well, women are part of the problem too. But like, what, like, how is that? That doesn't make any sense.
That's absolutely not my intention. So
okay,
if that's what it came off as, then I apologize.
It's okay. So what is your intention? What is the point in you trying to say women had a hand in building the patriarchy?
Ultimately, my point with bringing up the dehumanization of men is to say that I don't think that that is a good approach in the long term for establishing a basis of mutual respect and ultimately love between men and women, right?
Hold on. Hold on. I gotta I'm gonna log out real quick because they said the live is frozen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, YouTube, TikTok been tripping, man. They've been really playing with me for a cool minute. Don't ask me why. Okay, we back. Okay. Repeat that statement again. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the point that I ultimately am trying to make is that with all of these back and forths with like this whole gender war that we're doing on social media, not just you and me, but like everybody
in general,
my whole point is I agree that women have been dehumanized by men systematically for hundreds of years, and men as well,
thousands,
by the same patriarchal system. I'm saying if we want to have a different basis for relating to one another, then we have to reject all dehumanization. We can't just say, oh, because men have dehumanized women, now it's okay to dehumanize men so that they know how it feels, or because, you know, we need to even the playing field or something. It seems like.
But women don't do that though. That's the point. Like that's not a problem that women have. Women don't have a problem not dehumanizing men. See what I'm saying? Most women don't dehumanize men.
My argument is that I believe that they are.
I know, but based on what?
Well, based on, I'm reading these comments, like one woman said just now, men are incapable of loving.
That's not, I mean, there's more proof that men are incapable of. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know that sounds crazy to you, but like, that's like, there's more proof. You have to convince, here's what I'm saying. Men have to convince women that we are humans at this point, because there's so much proof to point to that we actually aren't humans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, inside yourself, are you saying that you're not sure if you're capable of love?
That's not, it's not a personal question for me. It's about the group as a whole. See what I'm saying? So I'm not asking this about you personally or me personally or Burberry or whoever personally. I'm saying that men as a group have not really shown that we love anybody or anything outside of ourselves. Right?
I mean, in general, there's lots of examples of men being dismissive and not taking care of their families and doing all that. But they're saying let the other guest speak.
Hold on, we got it. I'm gonna let Burberry, you could go. I wanted you to finish, Alex. I wanted you to finish, but I got it. It's saying that the live is glitching. I guess I'm gonna have to end the live again. I don't know what's going on. TikTok is this shit is crazy. TikTok really be hating. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me. Oh, they said it's not okay. Okay. So, Alex. So you can finish. So I think that it's I think that
I love the women in my life and I want to have good relationships with them.
Okay.
But it hurts me, just being honest, to be put in that same category. And I understand that I have to do the work to explain, to demonstrate that I'm not like that. But it just is, hurtful at a certain level to be lumped in with that other group of guys.
Why would that hurt you? If you cared about the women in your life, why wouldn't wouldn't their protection be more important than your feelings?
It is, but that doesn't mean my feelings don't exist.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just asking, why would that hurt you?
So, but it's this weird all or nothing thing where if I have to pretend that my feelings don't exist in order for this conversation to move forward.
That's not, I'm a man too. We're both men. Women lump me in the same group as they lump you in, as they lump everybody else in. I'm trying to figure out where's the disconnect, because I don't get offended by that one bit. Because once again, I understand that their protection is more important than my feelings. So I don't feel, it's a real easy no-brainer to me. And I also know how it works, because my mother doesn't feel that way about me, and my sister doesn't feel that way about me, and my wife doesn't feel that way about me. So I know the women, I know that on an individual basis, right? Case by case, I know that the women in my life don't feel that way about me personally, because I've shown them that I am whatever person that they view me to be, right? So why do I care about some nondescript, some random person, woman lumping me in with all other men, if that's the thing that they have to do to protect themselves? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the safer option for them, rather than being like, let me see if Alex is one of the bad ones, when the vast majority of men are one of the bad ones. You see what I'm saying? Like, so why wouldn't I just be like, oh, I totally understand. I totally understand why you would lump me in with all the other men, and keep protecting yourself, sister. I appreciate that. I respect that. That's how I view it. You don't view it like that?
No, I absolutely would bet every dollar I have that every woman in my life would say the exact same thing.
Okay, then there you go.
But that doesn't mean that when we have conversations in the abstract about men, and when people say things like men are fundamentally evil and incapable of loving another person, that that doesn't make me feel some type of way.
It should make you feel some type of way about men, not women. I don't feel any type of way about that comment from there. I'm like, damn, man, yeah, men really been messing up. Like, I completely understand why you would feel like
and
that.
That's exactly the feeling that I have. But then I look around and I go, what's the solution? And the solution seems to be to just go away. Like, I don't know.
Really? You can't think of any other solution other than go away? Because when you say just go away, then you literally prove their point, because they say men are incapable of love, and you go, okay, then I should just go away. Why? Because you can't love? Because if you could love, why wouldn't you stay? If you aren't the person they're saying, you see what I'm saying? If you aren't the person that they're saying you are, right? And you're like, cool, I'm not that person. I'll show you, I'll be better, right? Like, that should be your response. But instead your response is, well, I'll just go away. Then that means you are the person that they think you are. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's super easy.
No, because I've tried to ask what needs to change in order for me to be able to, and this is not a problem once somebody meets me, right? Like, once we have a conversation, but it's when I'm first being introduced to somebody, and there's just this barrier that we have to get through, right? Like, we would both agree that it's bullshit if a man meets a woman and he says, oh, well, she has to prove that she's not this, this, and this before I can have a conversation with her.
What do you mean? Be specific. That she has to prove what?
She's like, if he's going to open up to her, that she's not going to, use that against him, right? So what's wrong with that? Goes both ways, right?
So, but you don't. Do you understand the concept of equity?
Sure.
Okay. So what is equity?
Equity is, well, as opposed to equality being just everybody getting exactly the same.
Yeah.
It would be getting
what you need
enough.
Yeah.
To bring everybody to the same spot. Yeah,
and getting what you deserve, right? To be on the same level as everybody else. Okay. So.
Okay, you know what? Here, let me interrupt you, because I genuinely, look, all I know is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, based on the comments, I'm just.
You should stop reading the
problem.
comments. You should stop reading the comments because
Let me just be quiet.
No.
You can just tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, wait. First of all, stop reading the comments because you and me are having a conversation. When people read and talk at the same time, I view it as being rude. I'm not reading the comments. I'm just talking to you. But secondly, yeah, but okay, so back to my point when it comes down to equity, right? So what you're describing is equality. You're just saying like men and women, like is it fair for a man to ask a woman to prove X, Y, and Z, basically the way that women ask men to prove X, Y, and Z? And my answer would be no, because it's not equitable. Because what have women done to men historically to deserve that treatment? Like as a group, what have women done to men? Name a policy, name an institution that women have started, name, anything that women are behind and control that hurt men. Anything. If you can name one thing that women are behind, that women run, that women set up, that is their system, that I'm not saying that it's all women involved in it now, but it's just like something that a woman has started, then okay, right? Then we can have that discussion. But there's not. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately for our conversation, there's not. There's nothing. We don't have anything to point to. But with men, we have example after example after example after example, and not just slavery days and not just Jim Crow days and not like literally yesterday. Tomorrow there's going to be a new example. In every household right now, there's a new example of the same thing happening over and over and over and over again. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's not fair. It's not equitable to ask the same things of women as men, as women ask of men. Right? Because we're not, are we as vulnerable as women are? Like I'm saying, like if we're in close proximity to a woman, are we just as vulnerable? Is our safety just is our safety a concern just as much as it is when a woman is in close proximity to any man, even her own father?
No, of course not. But that's not the point I'm making. The point that I'm trying to make is very specific. Is if we are trying to have progress with respect to the way that the genders are relating to each other, we can't fight fire with fire.
I agree. But women aren't fighting fire with fire. The people who objectify men the most are men still. The people who see men as labor, as this, that's men who did that. Still, to this day, it's not women who do that. Women are the ones that humanize us. If we didn't have women to humanize us, we would never know what it felt like to be humanized.
I disagree with that.
Okay. Where are men humanizing other men? You tell me. In what way?
Okay, so I don't know what it means to humanize someone outside of the context of dehumanization.
So you know what it looks like to get dehumanized, but you don't know what it looks like to humanize a person?
Right, because the default when I talk to somebody is to treat them like a human being.
So I'll give you an example. Who listens to one another more about their whatever, their life, their issues, their whoever they are, about their personhood, women or men? Like would you like who if you had a choice, right, between a man or it could be whoever, it could be people who I'm saying, but a man or a woman, who would you want to tell your story to in hopes that
man, for sure.
To a man?
Yeah, for sure.
So the man will listen to you more and be more empathetic and things of that nature?
With my experience as a man, yeah.
Doubt it. You want to get you mean a man will coddle you more? Yeah, I agree. And never hold you accountable.
It's strange that I'm telling you something from my personal experience and you're just telling me that I'm a liar.
I didn't say you're lying. I just think you don't. I think you don't understand the question. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to assume you're being disingenuous, but like I said, you had something go wrong, something bad happened to you. Let me be more clear. You're frustrated with whatever it is, and you need to talk to somebody about it. You're saying that you like men would be like they are better suited for that. Like
Well, I'll give you an example.
Okay,
like,
give me an example.
I, right now in my life, desperately wish that I had an older male that I could talk to that shared my values, that wasn't going to try to explain my emotions back to me. Because when I talk to women, a lot of times they don't really listen. They just want to explain what they feel like is going on. And a lot of times what happens is,
what does that look like?
Well, like, for instance, I personally have been struggling lately with body image issues. And so I thought, well, who would be able to relate to that?
Women.
And so I brought it to women, and women made me feel fucking horrible about it.
How did the conversation go?
Because they were basically telling me, you know, you're a man, women don't care about looks that much anyway. Why are you so stressed about it? Get out of your feelings, basically. Like,
and what do you think? And what do you think a man would have told you?
I had a long conversation with my roommate, who's a man, and I felt way better after that conversation.
What did he tell you?
Because I was able to actually relate on a personal level, and he said, you know, I've had a lot of the same struggles. So,
and what did he tell you?
He told me to, you know, just love myself more and be more confident in myself and not put my value in what other people are thinking of me.
So the women didn't say that. The man said that. The women told you get over it.
Correct.
Interesting. Why were they bringing up women when you were talking about this, by the way? Like,
because in the context of like having body image issues and worrying about what the other sex was thinking of me, and just putting it more in the context of, you know, root your self-worth in something else. See, this is so funny. It's like, I'm literally sharing my story, and I know you said don't read the comments, but people literally just don't want to believe it because it contradicts what they assume. And it's like, women can be horrible too.
They can be. Yeah. I would say, like, in your particular case, but and I know women can be bad because women are people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's not, I don't ever refute that. I don't think anybody in here will refute that. I think though, when people say things that are the complete opposite of what the vast majority of us have experienced, it is a red flag. And I'm not saying you're lying, but it definitely is a red flag though.
What do you mean a red flag?
It definitely sounds inauthentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what you're describing is more it would be reversed for me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I told my wife that, she would be like, oh damn, like she would be completely empathetic and like the people who I would go to seek like empathy, right? Not when I want to get coddled, but because it's not coddling to be empathetic. But when I want empathy, I go to women because women are the ones who are more empathetic, right? They're the more nurturing of the group, so on and so forth. So why?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Well, that's what it's not what you thought. It's, see what I mean? Like it's like that is an objective truth, right? Like the vast majority of people would agree with that, and not because of their perception, but because of their real life lived experiences. So I would tell you to choose better female friends to talk to before I turned around and was on some like, yeah, women. Before I turned around and was like, yeah, you know, women just ain't what I thought they were. Like, I don't buy that for one bit. You see what I'm saying? Like that.
I'm I'm not out here generalizing anybody.
I mean, we're having a general discussion about men and women, though, so it's okay.
Right, but I'm trying as much as possible to
make it about yourself.
Okay, well, I mean, if you just want to insult me, then I can just leave.
No, I'm saying that's what you're doing. You're making it. You're saying like this is your experience. Like everything you're saying is like anecdotal, right? That's what the fuck how's that an insult to you? That's literally what you're doing.
I don't know what else you want me to share other than my experiences.
What you see objectively. What do you?
What I've experienced objectively is that when I go to women for support, they tell me, "You're a man, get over it." And when I go to men for support, they actually show support.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that your experience isn't real. I'm saying it's rare. You understand what I'm saying? So you're an outlier. You would be an outlier in this situation. I'm not discounting anything you're saying. Okay, cool. That's fucked up. That anybody would, men or women, who, you know what I mean? Like, we all should be more empathetic and, you know, and listen and all those things. But what you're describing is something that would not be typical. That would be harder to find. It would be harder to find, right? It's harder to find a woman that doesn't listen to a man than vice versa. It's harder to find a woman that a man that listens to you and is empathetic and whatever than it is to find a woman that will do the same thing. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I think most of us are saying. So therefore, your story comes off as like you're an anomaly at this point. So you got to understand that a lot of people aren't going to believe you. That's just what it is, right? And I'm asking you, what I'm saying is do you think that we're all wrong about this? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that we really, because the way you're painting, here's what I'm saying. The way you're framing this is as if women, most women are like the women who you have experienced. You see what I'm saying? Like you think that, right? Like that's what you're saying, essentially.
No, I'm saying that that's my experience and that's all I have to go off of.
Okay, so let me ask the question again. If you had to take a guess, would you think that most women were like the women you have encountered?
If I had to guess, I would say that most women are probably going to look at what I'm saying from their lens of their experience.
But can you answer my question though? Because I think the way that I framed it was the way I wanted it to be answered. Do you think that most women are like the women who you have encountered thus far? Yes or no?
I really don't know how to answer that question.
That's a super easy question because you don't know most women. So you could easily just go, yeah, I think most women are like the women that I've met, or no, I don't think most women are like the women that I've met. Super easy. That's confusing.
Well, I feel like you're trying to paint me into a corner here because I don't want to make assumptions based on an incomplete set of data.
This idea that we can, like, in no other discussion would this conversation make sense the way that you're trying to have it. And it's so crazy. So you do not live your life based solely on the things you have experienced, right? Like, for an example, riding a skateboard is dangerous. And I know a lot of people don't, especially skateboarders, they don't like to wear helmets, and that's on them. I think they're crazy. But scientifically proven, skateboarding is dangerous, right? So, but you're a skateboarder, let's say. You skateboard without a helmet. That, if I asked you, do you think that skateboarding is dangerous enough to wear a helmet? You would say no, right? I'm saying, and this is how you sound to me. You sound like a skateboarder who doesn't want to wear a helmet. Then you're like, nah, skateboarding ain't that dangerous because I've never been injured while I was skateboarding, or I've barely been injured. I've never hit my head while skateboarding, right? But you know what I'm saying? The scores of other people that have hit their heads or seen people hit their heads and have broken bones and the science and everything else, is saying the contrary. And then when I ask you, okay, based on all the everybody else's, the collective experiences of everybody else, do you still think that your personal experience represents the overall experience of skateboarders? And you're saying, well, I don't want to generalize. Like, what? It's perfectly okay to generalize. Like you are putting, like you are making yourself, you're at that point, you're scared. You're making yourself unsafe by not listening to everybody around you. That's what I'm saying. You're making yourself look inauthentic by saying, oh, I only am going to go off of my personal experiences, when you only know a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But even in the context of the skateboarding example, like there's different ways to ride a skateboard that have different levels of danger, right? Like you can ride it down the sidewalk at a slow pace, and that would probably be fine without a helmet, right?
No.
But why not?
Because you're on four wheels, and being on four wheels is unpredictable and anything can happen. So would you, no matter how you're riding it, would you be safer with the helmet on or without the helmet on? If you're riding on one knee, like I used to do when I was 4, or if you're standing up, kick pushing like Lupe Fiasco, a helmet would be the best option in both cases. Am I correct?
If you're just strictly talking about superlative, like safer,
yes,
then yes.
Exactly. That's my point. So no matter what, the helmet is safer. No matter how you slice it. It doesn't matter how you ride it. It doesn't matter what time of day you ride. Doesn't matter. The helmet is safer based on science, based on you seeing your friends hit their heads on. Like, yeah. And you're in a room full of people saying, I've hit my head. I've hit my head. I've hit my head. And then you're going, and then they're listening to you going, yeah, no, riding a skateboard is completely safe and you don't need a helmet. That's my experience though. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just, you got to get, like, I'm just saying, like, if you, in no other situation, would your approach make sense? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense now either to me, but I'm saying in any other way, it would make sense. Like, in what situation would the way you're talking about this make sense to anybody? Like, because you've experienced this, then you are acting like you can't then like look past your own experiences and look at the collective experience. Right?
So you're saying it's objectively true that women are more supportive and more empathetic in all cases?
It's objectively true. It is also scientifically proven that women listen better than men. They listen more than men. It's also scientifically proven that women pay attention to men more, like our body, expressions and our facial expressions and whatnot. Yeah, these, you know what I'm saying? On top of things that beyond what I've experienced, this is science also supports it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. So when you say that women and also lastly, objectively, why would men as a society, why are men leaving the child rearing duties to the mothers if the mothers aren't the more nurturing group?
No, and I think that's wrong too. I think that there should be an equal split in household duties between men and women.
I know, I agree that there should be, but with the state of men right now, I don't disagree that women should be more in charge of the kids, because most men lack empathy. You see what I'm saying? Most men aren't nurturing. And it's not a natural thing. I think we are naturally nurturing humans. Generally speaking, I think most humans have the capacity to be very nurturing, right? But men strip other men of their humanity when they're children. They strip our humanity away from us as soon as we come out the womb, the same way they strip women's humanity from them. It ends up looking different though.
Right. And all I would say is, because I have a feeling this is reaching its conclusion, but my earliest point, that there are plenty of women, individual women, I'm not saying women in general, but individual women who participate and benefit from the patriarchy. I don't think that we can disagree with that. I think it's a lot deeper than this very simplistic men versus women, black versus white, all this kind of stuff. I think that intersectionality is critical. I think that we have to look at it in terms of class first, but I think that ultimately
when you say that, what do you mean?
I mean that the economy is ultimately going to determine your place in the world, and it's ultimately going to determine how you experience the world around you, right? Like if you're born into a highly wealthy family and you just so happen to be African American, you're going to have a different experience than an African American person born in the inner city.
But as a highly, but when it, so, but that black person compared to his white or her white counterpart is going to have a completely different experience. So race will always play a huge role.
That's why intersectionality is important, because it's all part of it, right?
Yeah, but in this particular case, the problem is that men, no matter what their race is and no matter what their class is, they side with misogyny. They side with the patriarchy. And it's one of the most amazing things that I've ever noticed in my entire life. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing it is to notice it as a man and see. I was in a live last night or the night before. I think it was last night. And I'm on a panel, and it was a young black man, another young black man, and it was an old racist white man up there. But they all were in agreement with each other because they all were extremely misogynistic. Right. And where you will find, when you talk about intersectionality, I got some intersectionality for that ass, where you will find poor black men, wealthy white men, middle-class Asian men, so on and so forth, congregating. You will find them congregating in the room of the patriarchy, in the room of misogyny. We all, no matter how rich or poor you are, all groups of men are extremely misogynistic. Every single group of men. Like black people, we can't be racist, right? Like in the way that the system is set up, we can't be racist, right? It's not racism. At worst is prejudice or something like that, but it's not. We can't actually exercise anything. If I don't like you because you're a white person, your life isn't going to change at all. I can't weaponize the system against you. I have I have little to no systemic power whatsoever, right? So black people, I don't even want to hear black people can be racist, but that is like what it's like being you know what I mean? Like that's what it's like. There's no, like, they don't have any power systemically. They don't have any economic power. They don't really have much social capital or anything like that. Like men shape the world, right? So when we have these conversations, you just see a bunch of men coming together to protect the patriarchy. Poor men protect the patriarchy, as well as wealthy men. Poor men, wealthy men, and everybody in between. So class gets thrown out the window as far as I'm concerned, right? Then you want to talk about race. White men, black men, Asian men, extremely, extremely misogynistic. It gets thrown out the window as well. I'll throw that one out the window too. So it's one of the only things where intersectionality kind of doesn't even show up when you think about it. Because are you going to tell me that wealthy white men are less misogynistic than poor black men? Absolutely the fuck not. Absolutely not. You're going to tell, you know what I mean? Like, no. And kind of like it's kind of like how racism is too. Like, wealthy white men are extremely racist, and so are working class and poor white men and women, right? Extremely racist. But it just looks different. Right?
I think we're talking about the same thing, just from opposite ends, right?
Explain.
Like, if, like, to use your example, if you're using white men as the example, rich and poor, they're both going to be misogynistic, right?
Yep.
But is it not also the case that white women, or women in general, are going to experience misogyny differently depending on their socioeconomic status. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, possibly. I think white women. I think women are going to experience. I think it's just going to be on different levels, but I think they're going to experience it the same. Like we can talk about, since the election is coming up, we talk about Kamala and Hillary. Not to bring up politics in particular. I don't care who you vote for in this particular instance, but like Hillary didn't win, and I think in large part the reason why she didn't win is because she was a woman. So there was a glass ceiling there for a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, she was running for president, so it looks different because it's like, oh, she got to get here, 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 and here. But you can apply that same thing to a woman at a Fortune 500 company too, and say like, oh, well, she moved up, you know what I'm saying, through up the rungs, but they won't ever let her get past this. Like most women don't ever get past this level in corporate America either. See what I'm saying? Most women don't become CEOs. There's not a bunch of female CEOs out there, and historically speaking, there haven't been. See what I'm saying? There haven't been or whatever company. Like in my field as a car salesman, when I sold cars for years, I never worked with a female manager ever. I've seen them sometimes here and there. I saw a couple of them here and there, but I never had one. And I was at like 5 different stores in my career, maybe 6. Never saw one.
This is another interesting, like, just kind of difference of perspective, right? Because I work in the credit union business.
Nice.
And credit unions are very female dominated. So I have lots of women in our C-suite. There's lots of women who are branch managers. So there's tons of very high-powered, very successful women that I'm around pretty often.
Yeah. But that's but you do realize though, like my wife is in education, and that's the same thing for her. But she'll tell you that the men move up faster. Like even when there are men there, men move up faster, and they get and they've never, like, you're not gonna get denied a promotion because you are a man. That's not gonna happen. Even in your field that's dominated by women, you're not gonna get denied because you are a man. I will guarantee you that. But if it was the inverse of that situation, definitely you're getting denied simply because you're a woman.
Right. No, and I understand that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So misogyny, it does show up to me, it shows up relatively the same way for men and women. It shows up exactly the same way. Now, racism shows up differently, I think, but I think misogyny pretty much shows up the same way for women, no matter their socioeconomic class. I just think that it just looks different to us. But a promotion is a promotion is a promotion. You see what I'm saying? She was trying to promote to be a president after being a senator or whatever. She didn't get there. Kamala's going to try to make it from a VP to a president. We'll see, right? We hope she gets there or whatever, or whoever. But yeah, I just think that misogyny is so prevalent and pervasive that it doesn't matter what class you're in. If you're a woman, you're going to suffer no matter what. Go look at I don't know if you're familiar with the ballerina farm story. She's a multimillionaire. I think she's.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think she's extremely oppressed. even as a multimillionaire, I think she's extremely oppressed. I think the oppression that she specifically is suffering from and suffering under is the same oppression that most men wives suffer under. You see what I'm saying? Like it's the same. Labor is labor. She's the one that does the vast majority of the labor. It might look different to us because she's milking cows and shit like that. I ain't talking about the task, but it's the same. It's the same idea. It's the same concept. It looks almost identical to me.
So I want to touch on that, but let me just address something real quick.
Okay.
I never said I'm oppressed. Okay.
I didn't hear you say that.
To be oppressed by anything.
Yeah, I never heard you say that.
The way, and again, I'm reading the comments. So,
okay.
But the way I've thought about it recently is like, as men, we need to go 99.5% toward women, right?
In what way?
Like, in terms of adjusting how we move, think, behave in the world.
Okay. How we
It
treat
needs
them?
to be 99.5% us changing how we act in order to make things better.
Mm.
Right? But there's still that 0.05% where, and this might be a spicy conversation for this live, but the ways in which women uphold the patriarchy.
That's for them to
Right.
discuss.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to speak on that, but there is still deconstructing to do.
Yeah, but that hurts them. That's why it's for them to like them internalizing misogyny very rarely affects us as men. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even like. It's like, why am I even?
It perpetuates the same system, does it not?
It does, but that's like, once again, it's like reverse racism. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like they're just trying to get in where they fit in too. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to make it too. They trying to survive too. So yeah, they may adopt some of the, you know, some of the talking points or the whatever the beliefs of the patriarch. Fine, okay, cool. But the vast majority of the time, when women internalize misogyny, it hurts them and it hurts other women. It very rarely hurts us. Very rarely. So
and if the goal is to get rid of patriarchy, men have 99.5% of the responsibility, and women have 0.05% of it.
Also, if we got rid of the patriarchy, they wouldn't be able to internalize it. That's the point. So they don't have to do shit. If women don't lift a finger, the patriarchy could topple tomorrow. Men could topple the patriarchy tomorrow by ourselves. We don't need women to do shit. But women couldn't do it. If it would be, I ain't saying they couldn't. It would be fucking hard. Even if women came together and coalesced and yada yada yada, it would be hard. It would be hard for it to happen. Hard.
Why is there the patriarchy?
Why does it exist?
Yeah.
To steal the labor from women and men, essentially. But yeah, women specifically. The same way racism exists to steal the labor of non-white people at this point.
So let me see if I can get here in a respectful way. Because the thought that I'm having is men want what?
Power.
Power and money.
Control, power.
Right.
Resources.
I guess then what's the solution? Like, do we take away the benefits of having money and power and control? Because historically, one of the benefits of that has been access to women. So
yeah, I mean, I just got done making a whole video today. I don't think men are going to change until there are like dire consequences for us to change. And that's the messed up part, because only men can not only, but I would prefer the consequences to be implemented, you know, by men. I would prefer we be behind that.
I'm trying so hard to not make this sound like I'm trying to blame women, because that's not what I'm trying to do.
Then don't.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say men want a certain thing. And for as long as there's women who will reward that, then there will be that dynamic on some level. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to put the labor on women. I agree to a certain extent that if women were to just not give up any vagina for the next 30 years, that they could bring down the patriarchy. But I also disagree with that notion, because I think men would just take it from them anyway. That's my guess.
I mean, that's probably.
Yeah, there's nothing in my mind that thinks that if women were to start doing that, they wouldn't just like cage women up and just take it from them anyway. Right. So that's why I don't even want women to be a part of. I think it has to be men to implement the punishments. See what I'm saying? So yeah, I like people like I'm a proponent of 4B, right? But all these movements supposed to be short term. But B, if 4B actually caught fire and it significantly started to, like 20% of women, 30% of women started to, hey man, you already saw what happened with the overturning Roe v. Wade. Like we would go back to, the stone, like we would go back to when like women were getting stoned for like showing an ankle, and women, it would be 1 vote per house instead of everybody gets a chance to vote, and women can't draw. Like we would go back to that, like they're trying to do that right now, right? And women are just, they have like a little bit more autonomy than they did 50 years ago. Just a little bit more autonomy. They're a little bit freer. And they're already like scrambling, like, oh man, let's get rid of no-fault divorces. Let's take away their bodily autonomy. Right? Next is gonna be women can't go to college, women can't work jobs. Like it's like that's how it's gonna go. And ultimately it's just gonna leave women like, like that's what I think. I don't see, like, with the way men are and how tyrannical, you know what I'm saying, and how far right or whatever, and how authoritative our country is and most other countries are. Like I'm not seeing it working out well for women in that regard. The same way I don't see it working out that well for black people. Like if black people were trying to do that, they would just put us in cages and we would just go back to, you know what I'm saying? Like it would just be like open warfare on us. I honestly believe that. So I think the only people that really can topple the system with like the lowest amount of casualties would be men. And I think it should be us. I hate asking women to lift a finger to deconstruct or to destroy a system that men created. It seems unfair. And it's not to say they won't try. They'll do what they'll do what they can do. But I'm just saying, I think we got to do the vast majority of the work. That's it. Like, yeah, whatever women can do, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little, you know what I mean? Whatever they can do, I'm with it. Just do whatever you can do, but stay safe. That's my thing to women, is like, do whatever you can do, but stay safe. Because I don't trust men in this regard. Like there's no doubt in my mind that men would flip a switch and it would be Gilead. You know what I mean? Like it would be Handmaid's Tale tomorrow. There's nothing. And it also, as a black person, that scares me because there ain't no black people in Gilead. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have a place for us. So.
Ooh, good point. So, because I want to touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's going to be a bunch of...
Oh, hold on. Let me read the super chat real quick, Alex. Osa said, he's talking to you. She said, it's not about you. It's not about you, sir. Women don't talk like that. If you're serious about unpacking your misogyny, start by being honest. Women listen and men demean. She got a good point. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
Again, I'm just trying to share in my very recent experience. That's not what you came across. I got you. So,
but go ahead. Finish your statement.
What the hell was I saying?
I don't know.
Damn.
Sorry.
Lost it.
Should have made you write it down. My fault. The ADHD is brutal for me too. Somebody said Gilead wouldn't work. For who?
Oh, there we go. That reminded me. So this is something I've been thinking about. Again, I'm going to get a bunch of poor white man tears comments, but I wonder, as someone who wants to be a part of this new world that we want to build that's separate from patriarchy and racism and sexism and all this stuff, like, it's hard sometimes. It feels like, where is my place in that? Right?
Mm-hmm. Super easy.
Like, and maybe it is easy and I just don't see it.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in it? If you just, where do you want to be in it?
I'd like to just think that I can just be a person.
Mm-hmm. Which would make you ultimately treat everybody else as people, right?
Right. I know. I can only speak for myself, but I feel like I try to do that.
Yeah. But that's, if every man did that, then, it's over. There you go.
Right. But as a man who doesn't necessarily have the ability to influence other men, like if I'm if I was gonna go and try to tell strangers on the street the same things you're telling me, they just tell me to fuck off and stop being a pussy, right? Like most men.
But I thought you said men listen though. I thought you said men are empathetic, and those are the men I know of. The men you just described, that's what I know of men. But
I don't associate with those people.
I know, that's the majority of men. That's what I'm saying. The men that you know, see what I'm saying? You don't associate with those men, but you know that that's how men would act. How? Because you know that's how men act when you tell them stuff that they don't want to hear. That's what I'm saying. You know that. I know that. And men don't give up about what you think. Men don't care about your feelings. Men don't care about what you the knuckle up and the man up and all of that stuff. Men started all of that stuff. So what makes me think all of a sudden it's women are the ones who have a hard time hearing what a man has to say, and they're gonna get out the smallest violin and play it for you and so on and so forth. Like, nah, I'm not buying into that. I think most men are exactly the way you just described those strange men to be. The strangers on the street, that's how most men act. Even the ones that know you. When you talk about things that aren't interesting to them, or things where they can't, interject themselves into the conversation and make it about themselves in somehow, some way. When you're talking to them, especially when you're talking to them about them taking accountability for stuff, that's how they're going to react. 99% of the time, that's how men are going to react. This is what it is. But you can have that conversation with women, though. Individually, I don't have that conversation with women as a whole, because like I've been saying, what the fuck can I tell women? Right? It's weird. It's weird as a man to try to tell women, like, you guys really need to unpack your misogyny, your internalized misogyny. Like, y'all can down that hill if you want to. I ain't gonna be me. I don't even waste time talking to them about that.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not out here telling people to do anything, because I'm not anybody's dad. But ultimately, and I don't know, man. I guess, because again, I don't know. Maybe I should just, because it's hard, because now all I want to do is just be quiet, because apparently sharing what I genuinely think is getting me nowhere with the majority of people. So I don't know what to do. And honestly,
do you think you're misogynistic? Do you think you're misogynistic?
I don't think I'm any more misogynistic than the kind of like baseline for an American, right?
So you're misogynistic?
Sure.
Yeah, the baseline for an American is extremely high. The average American man is extremely misogynistic, like dangerously misogynistic. The average American man is a danger to the average American woman, I believe.
So what would you recommend for me?
My hard pill is, first and foremost, we got to stop lying to ourselves. Next step is to listen to women. Like really listen to them, hear what they're saying, and not necessarily going out of your way to ask them, like, like, hey, what do you think? And like, not that. Just listen to them. They're talking about it all the time. Lives, whatever, books, whatever you got to do, studies. There's a bunch of things that will tell you the truth about what's going on. But you have to want to be better, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely have to want to be better, and maybe ask people. You're gonna ask women. How you can improve it if you want to. Yeah. Somebody said therapy. After I read, hey man, I don't think every man needs to go to therapy, and here's why. Because when men who are like utterly opposed to growing goes to therapy, they listen. This is documented what men do. These men, listen to what I'm saying. when men are utterly opposed to going to therapy, they just take the language of therapy and weaponize it against women. So I'm not in that. I like people just say therapy as if it's like the pill, that magical pill that's gonna cure everything. Like, nah, I'm not on that type of time. Maybe therapy is good for Alex. I don't know. But since I know a lot of men will do that, I don't just arbitrarily say go to therapy, right? Because I think there are steps that they need to take before that, so that by the time they go to therapy, they're not going there with the frame of mind of like, I'm just going here so I don't get fined. And then they listen to they listen to what the therapist is saying to them. And then they learn gaslighting, projection, and whatever other terms that are being used. And then they go and try to manipulate their spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying, or women in their lives, or whatever the case may be. Right. Also, it's some men will use it as like a box to check off, because I go to therapy. But if you're going to therapy and you're lying to the therapist, then what use is it? Which a lot of motherfuckers do. So you can prove, I go to therapy. Look at my therapist card. It's got so many holes punched in it. I've been going to therapy for weeks, for months, for years. But if you're actively if you're actively working against it helping you, then what the fuck? What is it gonna do? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just not there. Like, I know that's from 2024. Like, everybody just therapy. Like, trust me, I'm with it. I'm not against it. I'm not one of those people that's like, you don't need therapy. You need therapy eventually. At some point in time, I do think therapy is helpful. But when I don't know a person, when I don't know a man specifically, I try really, really hard not to be on some like, just go to therapy. Hell no. I'll refuse.
I've tried therapy so many times.
See?
And to be honest with you, this is my take at this point. I think most young men, 18 to 35-ish men, don't need a therapist. They need a mentor. They need an older man in their life that ideally would be less, inclined toward patriarchal perspectives, that could guide them how to actually be a person. Because a lot of what therapy is, in my experience, is just like emotional processing. And they need that, and that's something that a mentor could give them. But a lot of the guys in my kind of age cohort don't know how to be a person. They don't know how to, take care of themselves.
Thank you, Ari.
And a lot of times the quote unquote depression that they feel is not because they don't know how to process their emotions. It's because their life is genuinely not very good, because they're not connected to community. They're not taking care of their hygiene. They're not doing anything that would indicate that they love themselves.
They also aren't making much money because the economy is messed up. And they refuse to go after the oligarchs and the people that actually are messing up the economy.
Correct.
So they punch down on women. They use women as the punching bags. They use children as punching bags, unfortunately.
Like, here's a good question. What would you say would be an example of like a healthy masculinity?
I believe the healthiest masculinity is no masculinity at all.
See, but doesn't that seem counterintuitive?
Not even a little bit.
So we should all just be as feminine as we can?
No, I don't believe in either concept. But out of the two, fuck yeah, let's be feminine. I'm trying to feminize myself more and more every day. Just doing little shit. I'm trying to be more and more feminine every day. Like, that's my goal. Like, every single day at this point.
If your thing is we're getting rid of this whole masculine feminine dichotomy and we're just going to be human beings, then I can get on board with that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, if I had to choose one to like identify with or like strive to, like actually adopt, it would be femininity. Because I can't think of anything inherently negative about femininity. But everything about masculinity is at best benign, but most of the time it's negative. I don't believe in the concept of toxic masculinity. I think all masculinity at this point is toxic. All of it.
The way I've started to think about it is more like masculinity in the right context, because the world can be a scary place, not because of any other person, but just because like nature is scary on its own, right?
Mhm.
So you have to protect what you have, right? And that can be simply just like from a defensive position. But if you have something that is worth cherishing, that is maybe, like a sort of a feminine quality of being beautiful, maybe vulnerable, then you have to have something outside of it to protect it, to keep it safe, right? So that's how I see masculinity being like a more,
But
more
masculinity
healthy dynamic.
But masculinity doesn't protect. Masculinity is the thing that is trying to destroy femininity. See what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's not a masculine trait to protect. That's a feminine trait, if anything, because the protectors are actually women. Women are more likely to protect women, children, and men. Men are more likely to be the aggressor, the assailant, and the predator. And the men that are there are more likely to be bystanders. So yeah, men are. That's what I mean. There's nothing. Name it. Name the quality that men, because masculinity is literally just characteristics that we can attribute to men in general, that like a lot of men do, right? Like more than women, right? Name it. Name the good thing in masculinity. Name one thing about masculinity that's good that most men do. Not the idea, not what you think men should be doing, but like what men actually do.
Well, I don't know if I can name anything off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is that there are a lot of men that identify as masculine. So
they don't know what masculinity is, though. Yeah.
They gotta knock it off.
Most men don't know. Most men are so undereducated. They don't know the majority of these. They don't know what they mean. They don't even know what it means. They haven't even thought about it. And you know how I know this? I've literally, I have hundreds of hours of me asking men about masculine, like just these general concepts. They do not have a freaking clue of what it means. None. No man that actually adheres to masculinity has ever been able to articulate what masculinity is. And like, honestly, like in a real way, like where it's objectively true, right? Whereas conversely, men who don't believe in masculinity, men like me, we like men that I talk to, I talk to like Fatal, like people on here like Fatal and Jay and like Bama, Alabama fella. Like when I talk to those dudes, yeah, they're like, yeah, masculinity is stupid. But here's what masculinity is. And we all know that, like, when you understand what masculinity is, you don't want to identify as masculine. That's what I'm saying. When you actually look at the state of men, as a man, you want to distance yourself from that shit. You don't want to be a part of it. You're like, oh no, I'm good. I like, what's over there? Oh, femininity. Well, what are they? Nurturing, empathetic, brave, care, like nice, consistent, honest. Yeah, I'm going over there.
Depending on who you ask, I think bravery might be more associated with, in general, I'm not saying any particular man, but like if
men are
were to ask in the abstract.
Mm-hmm. Men are the biggest cowards. I just told you, men are the ones that are least likely to protect women and children from harm.
I'm not talking, but we're talking about masculine versus feminine in terms of like the associations that we have.
You missed what but you missed what I said though. Here's the problem with masculinity and femininity. People, but mainly men say this is what masculinity should be, and they cherry pick stuff that they just want to associate with masculinity, right? Mm-hmm. When they tell me that, and then I look out and I have to put that up against what men actually do, and the shit never matches. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem.
Oh, I feel that.
So yeah, I get what men think masculinity is. I do. But what actually is masculine? Like, how do men actually exhibit it on a day-to-day? Violence, neglect, abuse. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I see associated with masculinity. Right? Predatory behavior, greed, gluttony. That's what I see when it comes to masculinity. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all got it. You can have it. I bow out.
And again, I think this is, to go back to initially why I jumped in or why you called me up, is like when we have these types of conversations and we just put all of the negative attributes into the misogyny bucket, whether or not it's valid, it leads men to just the initial reaction is, oh, well, you're saying I'm all of these things.
But if most men are those things, though. That's the problem. Most men are or have a high propensity to be those things. The sooner that's what I was saying earlier when you asked me how do we get, we got to stop lying to ourselves. We have to start taking accountability immediately. We have to do it. The longer we keep playing this game, this woe is me, oppression. This is when people talk about the oppression Olympics, this would be indicative of that. Like, oh no, it's not, man, not all men and all men, bro. Let's just make it easy. All men. Let's just cut to because there's far too many men for us to differentiate between the good and the bad men. The vast majority of men are bad, right? The vast majority of men are bad to women, specifically to women, to children, right? The vast majority. So like, what am I doing here? Why am I, I'm not about to sit here and like, oh, well, you're not as bad and you're bad. You're bad. Not every man is extremely violent. Not every man is knocking a woman's head between the washer and dryer. Not every man is cheating. I agree with all of those things. I agree. But the vast majority of men are doing some version of that, and or has done that to a woman or multiple women and or children. Almost every man. So it's us. We're the problem. And the sooner it's freeing to accept it. That's what I'm trying to help men understand. You become more free when you accept it. You fighting it is the thing that's causing the damage. You're holding on to the rope and it's like messing up your hand. You just got to let it go. Just let it go. You're good. There's no need for you to even fight it. It's over. We lost that fight. we are who they say we are. I'm not mad at it.
I don't even disagree with that. Where I'm coming from is because, again, like you're saying, if we're just getting rid of the whole idea of differentiating between masculine and feminine, and we're just saying masculinity is what we're calling all the bad attributes, and we're just going to get rid of that.
I think you're thinking about it backwards. It's not that I'm saying that's like, I'm not afterwards applying all the bad things to masculinity. I'm saying that what men actually do are the bad things. Therefore, it is masculine because that's what masculinity is. I'm not just arbitrarily applying bad things that's what men do for women. Everything women do that men don't like, or I'm sorry, that's what men do that to men. Men do that to men, right? So if you do something that a man doesn't like, he says you're gay, which is feminine, which is a woman, right? Connected to women. Whatever we do, it's oh, stop acting like a woman. Everything negative. Oh, you're jealous. Oh, that's a female trait. Oh, you're this. That's a woman's trait. Oh, you're that. That's what men do. That's what we do to women. That's what we do to femininity. We just apply everything negative to femininity, but then when you examine it, you're like, well, that's not jealousy. Like, you're telling me like women are more jealous than men? Get the fuck out of here.
What I'm more honing in on is how you're saying masculinity doesn't even exist in a healthy context.
It doesn't exist at all. That's the thing. It's not a real thing. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Like, race isn't a real thing. We literally could just do away with race. If we did away with race and gender tomorrow, do you think the world will become better or worse?
I'm trying to think about what that would even look like.
It would look like a world that is genderless, and it would look like a world. So you talk about class, right? Race and class are inextricably linked. correct? In this around the world, but in this country specifically, right?
Right.
Okay. So imagine if you got rid of race, wouldn't that also make it easier for everybody to ascend and not be on the bottom? If you can't oppress people due to their race because race isn't a thing anymore, then it's harder to oppress people, right? Whole groups of people. Maybe you can oppress people based on their hair pattern now or their eye color or whatever the case may be, but it's way hard to oppress people when you get rid of racism. It's very, very hard to oppress people when you get rid of genders and you're not judging a person because they're feminine presenting or masculine presenting or somewhere in between. Right?
Can I bring up a really stupid analogy?
Give me 1 second. Yeah, keep the analogy. I got to read these 2 super chats. Subfuge said that would be like asking black people to end racism. That's going back to what we were talking about ending the patriarchy. It's like asking black people to end racism. It's tough. It's a tough sell. Osa said, just be a decent human being. Why all the mental gymnastics? If every man decided today to do the bare minimum of being decent, could save women's lives. Exactly. It ain't even that much. If we just started treating women like human beings, the world would look, unicorns would start to come. We would see unicorns and leprechauns, and there would be like gold at the end of rainbows and shit. Like the world would look completely different. It would look like a kid's drawing of a utopia. If men just started treating women like human beings tomorrow, it would look like that within a week. The water will become cleaner. The air would be more clean. The food would taste better. Like, I don't think people understand how misogyny is linked to a lot of the destruction of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very much, the patriarchy is responsible for a lot of the destruction, the way the food is grown, and all of that is linked to the patriarchy. I promise you, all of it is. Racism linked to the patriarchy, all of it. It all functions underneath that umbrella. But go ahead, brother.
You know what? Again, you told me not to read the comments. I'm still reading the comments. It's getting really hostile. So I want to ask your audience if they think we should continue to engage with people that we don't agree with.
Oh, they would. I mean, I would guess they would say yes. That's why they're here. Because that's all I do is engage with people. I try my hardest to solely engage with people that disagree. I don't really.
Yeah, and that's all I'm doing here. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible while still sharing my genuine opinions.
Yeah, you're not. Trust me, bro. If you were really bad, they would have already dropped you. So you're not that bad. You know what I mean? But I think the thing that's frustrating in this conversation is it seems like you have the emotional intelligence and just the regular intelligence to understand everything that I'm saying, but yet you're still like actively fighting against it. To Osa's point, when she mentioned the mental gymnastics, right? The cognitive dissonance is still there.
Okay. Explain that more.
Like when I say the things that I say, you will say like, "Oh, I agree," and then you say "but," and I'm like, "But there shouldn't be a but after that." So it seems like for with you, you're more frustrating than the more ignorant men, because you seem like you should easily get this. You seem like we should be on the step like 4 or 5 with you, but we're still stuck at number 1. See what I'm saying? We still haven't gotten over number 1. And I think that is a little bit frustrating listening to you, because like I said, you're likable and we like your delivery and your temperament and all of that stuff, but it's just like, you're just like, nope, I got to figure out a way to weasel out of it. I'm still mad at women for whatever, because ultimately that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. Like, that's the vibe I get from you in general. It's just, you're upset with women for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. Yeah. You sound like you're upset with women. And I think that a lot of that comes from your entitlement as a man. Right? So because that's what you've been saying this whole time. Yeah, like, it's unfair, or I don't like how they put me, how they lump me in with all of these other men. Why? Do you feel like you're entitled to their trust or their acceptance? Because I don't. And maybe that's why I don't get upset. I think that's why I don't get upset, because I don't feel like they owe me shit. I don't care how good of a man I think I am. They don't owe me shit. So I don't get mad at any woman that treats me like an op or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. I would rather, like I said initially, I would rather them be protected and them feel safe than me feel like I'm comfortable, you know, being the person that I am, right? Because I'm comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And I know, and understanding the history of man and understanding the current state of man, I'm perfectly okay with women being weary of me. Even now, no matter, I don't care how much work I do in these spaces, there's always going to be a large subset of women that are like, I don't trust him because he's a man. And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, I don't know. I hesitate to even bring this up because, you know, I'm trying not to.
Bring it up.
I'm really not trying to make this all about me.
It's okay. It is about you right now, though. We're talking about you. It's okay.
Like, my mom and my sister are both very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So the women in my life are saying a lot of the opposite things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very confusing.
Is it you brought up intersectionality, so you don't understand how two white T women would uphold the patriarchy? You don't know why they would have an inherent bias when it comes to the patriarchy, even as women? Because in the hierarchy of the patriarchy, they still rank higher than black men and black women and Latino men and Latino women and white, Asian men and you know, so on and so forth. In so many ways, not in every way with the Asian men, but definitely pretty much everybody else but white T men, white women are beneath them. So of course they want to uphold the patriarchy. There is a demographic of white T women that want to uphold the patriarchy because the patriarchy, like I told you, the patriarchy and racism are linked. So not only do they benefit from being white, they benefit from being white, not being women. See what I'm saying? They benefit from being white, not being women. But since the patriarchy and racism are linked, they're going to uphold both systems. So it shouldn't be that confusing once you look at it through that lens. What they're upholding is racism. Really, at the end of the day, they're not really upholding the patriarchy. What they're upholding is racism, ultimately.
See, and this is why I engage, because I don't know if I ever would have thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're in it, bro, if you're born in it, there's no way you're going to see that. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough thing to see when you're in it with them. You know what I mean? You're looking at it like man and woman. And you're not seeing like, what the fuck? Why would a woman ever support this system that you know is bad for them? Right. But, you know, when you look at it through that, like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Because racism was built on top of the patriarchy. The patriarchy was built first. It was the foundation. And then racism was built on top of it. And, you know, capitalism and so on and so on. And all the other systems of oppression were kind of built on top of it.
Gotcha.
So that's the part, that's the intersectionality that I think more white T people need to understand, right? I love that you use that word though, because a lot of white T men don't understand intersectionality whatsoever. So I commend you for even just knowing that much about it. You know what I mean? Like that's a good step. And I think that's why right now it's easier for you to understand or process what's going on because you do have like some knowledge of what intersectionality is. You know what I mean? So you're already doing some of the work. You know what I mean? You're already doing some of it. You know, you're getting there.
I'm never going to see my own blind spots until somebody shows them to me.
You won't.
So.
Impossible. It's impossible. You know what? It's either that or you could also see them when it happens to other people. You know what I mean? Like I see that all the time. Like I see like I'm like I'll be like talking to somebody about something and I'll be like, oh shit, that's me. You know, like it happens with me. I have those aha moments often, especially in these spaces with these conversations that I'm having with men. I'm constantly having aha moments for myself. Like I don't say it out loud while it's happening, but trust me, like once it's done, like once that conversation is over with, I'm definitely like clocking it for myself. Like, oh yeah, nah, that's you. Like you do that. You know what I mean? Like you're definitely that guy, you know? So yeah. And I try to, and also like, I want you to understand, like in having this conversation, in having this conversation, like I am also a part of the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a part of the problem too. You know what I mean? I'm definitely a part of the problem, right? Now I'm trying not to be, but I still am, right? And I've contributed to it. So whether or not, even if I've changed completely, whatever, I still contributed to it. I've still upheld it before the patriarchy or whatever. You know what I mean? And when I uphold, and as a black man, it is extra infuriating for me because the last thing for me to unlearn was misogyny, and it's proving to be the true monster. It's proven to be like the ultimate final boss as a man. Like race. I clocked race when I was 10 years old. Like that's done, right? Capitalism, 25 years old, been over it, blew past it. Religion, unpacked it when I was 25, 24, 25, whatever, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It took about a year or two, whatever. This right here, this a beast. This is a monster. Like this monkey is on my back. It's whooping me. Like it be whooping me still. And I'm like, wow, man, like, this is crazy. It's really, really, really ingrained. It's really, really ingrained. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's pervasive as fuck. It's very pervasive. You know what I'm saying? So I know, and as a white T man, I could only imagine how pervasive it is and can be for you. I can only imagine it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm trying really hard not to pat myself too hard on the back, but
don't.
I think
don't pat yourself. That's step number 18 in my path to. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, don't ever pat yourself in the back. It doesn't help, because whatever good you would do, you should be doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you would do. I know. I'm just in general though. But it's just tough though, because I do think a lot of men do look for cookies. You know what I'm saying? And like, so yeah, don't ever look for a cookie. It's okay. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. What the hell was I going to say? I don't know. I think, well, let me do this. I've talked long enough. You should get another guest up here.
That's fine.
You give me a lot to talk or think about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna journal for a little bit tonight.
That's good, man. I don't journal, but I probably should. I just talked to my wife.
Also, you did earn yourself a follow.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Alex. Shout out to Alex, man. We can't get up to 100,000 likes, but I got a follow. I love that. I'll take the follow anyway. That's good. I love it.
And if I'm a little pedantic, just remember I'm a philosophy major, so I just like to argue.
No, you're good. Hey, how old are you, by the way, Alex?
I just turned 27.
Okay, so you're not young and you're not old. You're old enough to understand what we're talking about, but young enough to know like there's a lot more. You got a lot of life. You got a lot of life ahead of you. So yeah.
As Hosier would say, I'm in my mid-youth crisis.
Mid-youth crisis. Hey man, it's tough in America. I ain't gonna even hold you, man. It's tough in America for white men right now, right? Y'all not oppressed or nothing like that, but it's definitely tough when you see people, when you've been so, entitled for so long. And this is like in your epigenetics. This ain't even like, this may not even be your story, because you could say, well, I was poor and whatever. But your granny, your great granny, your great great grandma, grandpa, whatever, it wasn't like that for them. And it's tough when you see people starting to get, like marginalized groups of people starting to get autonomy. It's tough, right? Like you're programmed to have a reaction. You're programmed to be resistant. You're programmed the same way I'm programmed as a man to be resistant when women get autonomy. White T men are programmed to be resistant when black people and black men and black women, when you act, when you're misogynistic towards black men, that is what people would call misogynoir, right? Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah, there's a TikTok video that I saw. I don't remember who the creator was, but it was like it's like a bunch of dumb drawings, and it was like black men experience oppression, black women experience oppression,
And it,
black woman oppression different.
yeah,
Like, so
I know that creator. Yeah, I follow him. That was a Christian Dane, I think, who did that. Christian, yeah.
with the, what is it? Like oppression's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yep. Well, he stole that from I think he stole that from what's her name? I think he stole that from what's her name? You guys know the woman that man, why am I what's the woman's name that wrote A Will to Change?
Bell Hooks.
Bell Hooks. He stole that from Bell Hooks, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's like whenever I forget, I'm like, what exactly does that word mean again? That's the video that I go
But that, yeah, and that's exact great. That's what, see, I hope they never get rid of TikTok. Hey man, you got a fan over there said, I'm proud of Alex. See, man, the comments love you, bro. When when they see growth, they like it. But when you're not growing, they don't like it. They're gonna light you up. But we bringing back shame over here, man. So don't worry about it. Over here, you're gonna get shamed. It's not just a part of it. It's part of it. We all get it. I've been shamed before. We all get it, brother. I get shamed on my own panel. On my own lives. It happens. It's all love though. We all, we love to see growth. That's all it is.
Well, and the one other thing I was gonna say is, I think as men, something that we all could do better at is there was a quote that I heard, something about like it's really hard to not get defensive when you feel attacked. And I think the question is, how do we not feel attacked? By
decentering yourself. That's why I don't get offended. I get attacked all the time. But I know that, because it goes like this. If somebody says something about you and it's true, then it's true. Then eat it. If they say something about you and it's not true, why be offended? Because it's not true. And if you're saying something about me that isn't true, then I know that it's not me that you're actually mad at. It's probably you. You're really upset with yourself, or it's misplaced anger to say the least, right? So I'm good with that. Like, yeah, you can say whatever. You attack me, you say something about me. That's not true. I don't get defensive. But if it's true, oh, damn, I never thought about that. Here we go. Now I'm learning. Damn, I didn't know that. Thanks for pointing that out to me.
I am comfy now.
All right, man. I'm going to bring up some new people. I appreciate you coming up, bro. Come up anytime, man. I would love to talk to you in like a month. I would love to talk to you in like 30 days. That'd be fun.
Here, let me do this. I'm going to read The Will to Change front to back, and then I'm going to come back.
Oh, shit. Okay. We can talk about it. All right. Good night, brother. All right. Hey, man, let's get up over 100,000 likes. We almost there, 91,000. I appreciate y'all. Keep tapping the screen over there on the YouTubes too, man. Can we bang the Cash App one time? Keep the live alive. Y'all know what it is. Are you not entertained? That was good. That was refreshing. Doesn't happen every day. Right? We just had to work through it. It was a team effort. The comments were commenting. The super chats were super chatting. I wish all the conversations went like that. If all the conversations went like that, trust me, we would be making way more progress. Work your nerves. That's crazy. Oh man, we going to 149. Okay. 149. I got to write that down because that's when it ended. All right, let's get some more people up in here, man. One Alex at a time. We did it, Joe. I need my soundboard, man. I need my soundboard. That's when I'm supposed to hit that. Exactly, Shawnee. We did it, Joe. Oh, man, I need that. Damn, I need that. Why we can't get that, man? Why am I so incompetent when it comes to these things? Jess, I appreciate you. Brianna, I appreciate the Cash App. Jess, what's good? Jess, you there? No, Jess dipped out on me. Thanks, Camille. We walked them through it. The comments kept them agitated. Six Figures, what's good with it? Puff for president is crazy. I would never. Y'all seen what they tried to do to Trump? And he a whole white tea supremacist. Imagine if I was... They not gonna miss my black ass. That's all I know. Y'all talk as big as my ears is. Nah, I'm a goner. I ain't fidgety either. Trump was fidgeting and shit. He slipped up out that motherfucker. He bobbed and weaved. I don't be bobbing and weaving like that. I be still. So yeah, I don't know, man. Satellite's crazy. What up, Sam? Chilling.
That was the most disingenuous shit I ever seen in my life. For him to turn around, it was something else. But I know then he brought up inclusion, and then he brought up bell hooks. Sir,
I brought up bell hooks.
Nah, him. He corrected you. You brought it up, but he corrected you. He was like, "Oh, you mean bell hooks?"
Oh, I didn't even hear him say that. Okay.
He did. He said it. Hands in the chat if y'all saw that, because I know I don't want to be bugging right now. You might be right.
I didn't hear him say that. Yeah.
Little hand emoji if he corrected him. But yeah, it just was so many times see somebody else say, okay, all right, I wasn't bugging. I know we don't refer to the comments, but I had to make sure. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, when you started describing that's when he was like, who, bell hooks? And you was like, yeah, bell hooks.
Oh, I didn't even hear him say that. I heard it in the comments. I read it in the comments. Or maybe
for him to know the name, that shit was so disingenuous. For him to bring up inclusion, that shit was disingenuous because he already been on his path. So I'm just like wondering what was his angle. But I just wanted to say something to the prompt real fast. You know, I be saying wild shit. So I'm gonna just to sit up here and make it seem like men have it harder. That's some victim blaming shit. Historically, women have always been slaves to men. We used to get we were child brides. They still got it going on in 38 states in America. It's still legal to marry underage girls. They used to sell us for cows. They trade us for cows and shit like that. And it's not far off of what still goes on today. We hear about parents doing shit to their kids too. That shit was wild. Stop making it seem like y'all struggling. We need to stop being victims. Y'all know women have it harder, and it's just mad weird when y'all sit up here and act like it's anything other than that.
Sometimes they don't be knowing, though, Sam. Sometimes they just don't be knowing. You gotta.
Cat Williams said the liar know he a liar. The misogynist knows he's a misogynist.
I don't know, man.
Well, then, can I speak really briefly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry if I'm interrupting you, Sam. Sorry, honey. I just want to say there's a comment that you made in the live where you were like, oh, we did that, and kind of how like Alex, I guess, is learning or whatever. You made a comment saying we did that. We didn't do that. You did that. I just want to put out this statement. If you look through your comments in the live, a lot of people were straight up insulting him, right? There's a different, I understand frustration. That's valid.
Yeah.
To call someone out their name when they're trying to learn, that doesn't help anyone. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just want to, I guess I'm just saying this, if you can make a statement about that, if you would. But yeah, a lot of people were calling that boy out of his name, and people were saying that, oh, he needs to be disrespected. I don't get it. What does that solve? See, they're calling me a pick-me. Like, am I pick-me? Am I tripping? Like, am I tripping?
That's not a boy. That's a man. He said he was 27. Says, respectfully, I'm not trying to be rude. That's a man. So you already.
I'm saying, why are we insulting?
Let me land real fast, because you're already infantilizing him, right? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm being very direct with you and very honest. So what happens is when men think like that, we literally get unalived. So it's hard to have patience.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I understand, but the way that you could have patience with him, you should have patience with women who have to experience him. Because what it looks like for us to experience men like that is
I've experienced men like that. And I have experienced men like that, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I genuinely just don't see why people were insulting him. That's what I'm saying. I understand frustration. I get that. But why are we saying, like, why are we insulting him, saying that, oh,
I would never argue with.
He didn't call anyone out. I don't
know. No, I know. I just what I'm saying. This is one of those things where it's like, of course, ultimately, yeah, you're right. Like, you say, like, do you ever need to insult a person or whatever the case may be? But at the same time, I do understand, like, the idea that the vast majority of men don't ever actually get it and don't ever actually, they don't do what Alex did, right? So they just the odds are, if we were guessing, he's one in how many? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one out of how many men, So they were just going with the odds, and they were just treating him like they treat every other man. And he proved to be slightly better than the average man that comes on the panel. So there we go. It was a win-win. Like, I don't know. I'm not about to tell people to not have that reaction to Sim's point. I don't think that it mattered. I think it's safe to assume that most men you can just call out of their name because they deserve to be called out of their name. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could, like, it's safer to assume that. I wouldn't say that's wait. I don't think that makes you a pick me, though.
That's what they're saying, but
no, I'm not reading the comments. I don't think that makes you a pick me. I don't think that makes you a pick me personally.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you a pick me, but I also, like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not fair to be like, yeah, we don't got to talk about people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got to call people out their names. That's fair. I'm not gonna ever, like, argue against that and be like, yeah, we should be calling people out their name. But at the same time, bring back shame. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, like, there's worse things. There's worse. I ain't about to lose no sleep over it.
That man is 27 years old. That means he may possibly have voted for 2 cycles of presidents, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, right, when we get frustrated because these are the people you could tell off rip that he probably voted for Tebow, right? I'm not gonna make that because I
don't know. Yeah,
I can't see that.
You know. Wait, saying. You know why why I'm gonna say, in all honesty, I don't think he has, because when he spoke about his mom and his sister, he said that they are conservative, and he doesn't sound like a conservative in any other aspect. Like he's misogynistic, but like we already know, liberal men are misogynistic, lefty men, or, you know what I'm saying, like, men are misogynistic. But like, nothing he said led me, and I'm really hypersensitive about, like, like that brand of politics. Like, I'll be sniffing that shit out. I didn't get that vibe from him at all. It really seemed like he's probably more like liberal, probably voted Democrat. Like, I didn't get that vibe from him. He said my mom and my sister are very conservative.
So politics aside, right? I don't want to give too many examples, but realistically, imagine how many women have suffered at his hands. And I think that's where the frustration for us comes from, right?
I would venture to guess that he probably hasn't had many women.
I was gonna say,
with the interactions outside, just being in his presence, being in the classroom with him, walking in Walmart with him. What does that look like for the average woman? Don't be the ones that jump in front of you and learn and just make your everyday uncomfortable. Like,
I ain't not. Hey, you ain't about to hear me argue, because I don't know these men. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you the vibe that I got. I'm just going off of it.
I don't know him either, to be honest, right? But I'm just saying, like, what's the word called? There is such, like, I feel like there is.
It was like a whole hour and a half of him defending himself. I was in it from the whole jump. Like, he don't really need no defense.
No.
I was in it but remember, he's like, you guys are gonna say I'm babying him, whatever. But I just think that, like, we're humans, right? Like, we do have to learn, and especially if that is the family that you've been brought up in, Like, is that like really that hard to understand? Like, the man never really insulted anybody. So I'm just saying, like, I don't.
Oh, no. I disagree with that. I disagree with that because I don't look at like when, to me, an insult is trying to gaslight me. That's to me, that's higher than calling me out my name. Oh, early on, absolutely. The first 45, 50 hour, whatever. Oh, he was trying to gaslight. No doubt about it. He was.
I didn't come in from the jump, so maybe
he was evasive. He wasn't answering my questions when I was asking him straight questions, and we just kept working through it, and he just got better and better and better as the process went along.
Now I know that background. I can understand why women were probably already had that energy towards him. That makes sense. Because I came in from when he was like literally actually listening to you and trying to understand. So I was like, I don't understand. Like, what did this man do? But knowing that kind of background, that makes sense still.
Yeah,
I get it.
they was gonna cook, like, and we gonna cook. But if he would have came up here on that energy that he had, the comments would have been completely different. I guarantee I've seen it before.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Every chance that grown man, right? Because we don't call grown men boys, right? Because if you ask them, they're not going to say they boys. He's going to say he's a man, right? Yeah. And boys don't do that. They don't do that until they get inducted into the cult of men, until they get inducted into the patriarchy. That's a grown-ass man, girl. Start calling these men, bad men, all types of men when they display poor behaviors as grown-ass adults. We don't infantilize them or call them boys, okay?
Well, how did I don't think I did.
You said that boy.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be too much on you. I'm just saying it's super important.
Yeah, you're right. I did see
like you heard when Pub said we bringing shame back. When Pub said we bringing shame back, we're gonna shame the men by calling them bad men. We're not gonna shame them by calling them boys, right? That's not fair to boys that are good boys. Because it's not. I don't see that kind of behavior from boys. Boys are more open. They're kinder. They're more loving. It's until they start getting conditioned by the patriarchy.
Society, yeah.
You start seeing that kind of behavior, right? Yeah.
All right, y'all. I got some people I gotta address though, but I appreciate y'all coming up.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Mr. Facts, what's your problem, bro? You all right? You bumped your head? You getting blocked for that comment. That's a blocking. That is a blocking right there. Oh yeah, sir. You're gonna have to get at me on one of your backup. You're gonna have to get at me on one of your backup pages, brother. You're out of here, buddy. You're out of here, buddy. You're out of here, buddy. Beat it. That's crazy. Yeah, you can go on and take a hike, brother. Y'all want to see what he said? That's what he said right here. I ain't gonna repeat it. I'll put it in the comments over there on the YouTubes though, so y'all can see it. Y'all gonna have to delete y'all comments so you can see. Yeah. Yeah, we not doing that. Not on a good Thursday. We just chilling out, rocking out on a Thursday. That was unnecessary. You got too much dip on your chip. You got too much dip on your chip, fella. Not my Jeff is crazy. Anyways, we back on it. Yeah, go on and get It's all curlies. Yeah, they had that man mad. He was in there frustrated. I don't even know what Jeff said to him. That's the funny thing. It couldn't have warranted that response. Like, what the fuck? What did you say to that man? I got a victim blame.
I didn't say nothing to him. I was telling old girl, I was like, hey, she need to shut it.
Oh, the girl that was
and he was coming back. He was coming back and saying derogatory rate. The thing is the racist part, right? Like in my opinion, that's uncalled for, right?
Yeah.
But like in my opinion, the girl that was on the panel that was talking about the fella, like at the end of the day, everybody can have their own opinion about what he was doing, but like definitely gaslighting, definitely back and forth. Like he knows about bell hooks and he knows about intersectionality, but he doesn't understand about the patriarchy. Like in my opinion, that's a little disingenuous. Like that's a little. And here's the thing: like people in the comments were clocking it. So that being the case, they're like, and you're never gonna police the comment section of a public live. And she should know that by now. The comments is gonna comment every time.
All the time.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah. Jesus of Nazareth can be up here and they're gonna be like, hey, you need to cut your hair, you need to act straight, you need to get the nails at your hands, all sort of things. You know what I'm saying?
If Jesus come in here, he better act right. That's all I know. Because the comments gonna tell him something about itself. So I ain't y'all do what y'all do. Y'all ain't never heard me say, hey, watch that. I don't give a fuck. Couldn't care less.
And so you were just trying to have a conversation like what I do, right? You know, just trying to have a conversation, and we don't even get to clock everything because we're actively engaged in the conversation because we're trying to do that work. You know, but the comments have done heard this 100 million times.
For real.
And the comments is gonna comment. So like, and her coming up here and saying, well, he wasn't too bad. We're all bad. We all bad. Like, and that's what Sia was trying to say. He's 27. He done been through 2 election cycles. He done been grown. He's done been all the things. So like,
He in college.
Yeah, he in college. He's doing all that type of stuff. So like, if she don't want to treat him that type of way, that's fine. But like, none of the comments is, ain't nobody asking for no addresses. Ain't nobody talking about no knuckle. You know, ain't nobody. It's the comment section on TikTok on Thursday. So, you know,
This a mild Thursday night, man. we ain't doing nothing in here.
Yeah, to be pressed about that is wild work. That's all. And then look what happened. Old guy, the comments gonna comment, but. Old fella with the stuff, that ain't never no good.
I didn't understand that. I didn't even see what happened. I don't even know how I caught it. I just caught it randomly and was like, yo, what the fuck? What are you talking about? That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. Like I said, to me, that's just perpetuating the bad side of things. That ain't no good.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna cut up and act silly. I mean, we don't talk about Jesus and nails, but still we ain't derogatory on these is the people of America, no. You know, we ain't gonna beat up on their noggin.
No.
Not like that.
No, we ain't. Kia said, why is it always a woman who feels the need to cape for another man child? Cause y'all empathetic, man. That's what I was trying to tell my boy the whole time. I was like, look at the empathy. Look at the empathy. Who came up here to defend him? A woman. Didn't no man defend him. Who came up here to defend him? A woman. That's what I'm saying. The women be having all the empathy. Why y'all don't understand that? Like, what more do you need? What more proof do you need in real time that women be the ones with all the empathy? This shit is crazy.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, I ain't about to sit here and fight. How you want me to argue with you, but in real time, we can see women having all the empathy. like in real time. I'm like, oh, look, right on cue. Because that's all I was saying. That was the thing that was blowing my mind was like, nah, you know, when I talk to men, they be nicer to me. I was like, men? What men are you talking about? What men do you know, sir? Because those aren't the men I know. The men that are nicer to me are women. The people that are nicer to me are women. 99.9% of the time, it's going to be women. I'm just saying 0.9. I'm giving that 0.1% for the one off time that I forgot or the future time when it, you know, but I don't remember. I can say 100% of the time that I could think of, it was women. For real.
Right. Yeah. And that's what, and that goes to a lot of different aspects. A lot of people that are on that mindset or that train of thought, they think about women in the aspect of like romantic interest and stuff like that, knowing that the majority of women in the world are never going to be of romantic interest to you or them or whatever. So understanding that women are more empathetic when we're talking about complete strangers. We're talking about at the store. We're talking about at work. We're talking about boss ladies. We're talking about all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so women extending that empathy to people that may not even be deserving of it builds the world better. So over the last 40 or 50 years, we've gotten a lot of changes in a good way from women being in those positions of decisions with their empathy instead of men saying, no, this is what you're going to do or else.
Vex. Oh my God. Damn. What a night. What a night. Asaya, what's good?
Hi, it's pronounced Asia.
Asia.
It's okay. I get Asaya a lot.
I'm sorry. I don't even want to call you that because I don't know if you know there's another person on here named Messiah.
I think Asaya is a beautiful name. Unfortunately, it's just not mine.
Yeah, but there's another person on here. I don't think I want to associate you with her though. So, but
Okay.
yeah, but it's okay though. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad that to find out it's Asia. But got you. Okay, cool.
Yes. Okay, so I just came in here, so I don't know what happened with the people you're talking about. So, but just based off of the question, who gets objectified the most? I'm gonna have to say it's women's bodies, only because for the most part, the resource that they're looking for, it's automatically there, despite the economic component to it, as opposed to, in my experience, women understand that while the goal is to try to find a man that's a provider, that's not the common reality.
Is that the goal?
I feel like if you subscribe to that, that's the goal. I've been listening to different conversations, and I'm starting to change my conditioning. So I'm having a paradigm shift when it comes to expectations of men.
Okay.
Personally, I feel like looking to men to be a man to be a provider. I don't feel like that's a fair or realistic expectation, especially when I am a functioning adult and I have the capability of providing for myself. I feel like, and I'm not doing this I feel like it's a disservice to both, right? I feel like men are frustrated because society tells them that they're supposed to show up in a certain way. And they don't have the capacity, whether they just aren't able to do it because the way that the economy is set up or whatever the different reasons are. They're angry, they're frustrated, and I feel like the person that's going to take on that brunt of frustration and anger are the people, is the spouse. I also feel like that's just going to bring up, me personally, I just don't think that is, I feel like we don't need to look at that anymore. I feel like that's old. Back in the day, men were looked at providers because women couldn't work. We weren't allowed to work. We weren't even allowed to have our own bank account. That is no longer the norm. And so I feel like now I feel like we're doing a disservice to them and themselves. I feel like it's an unrealistic expectation. Now, that does not mean that I don't think men should be able to provide for themselves. I don't think that.
Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that men are objectified more? Is that what you were saying?
No.
You said women are. Okay, that's what I thought.
So when I said resource, because I'm trying to watch my words, because I'm still new to TikTok, so I don't know which bad words are okay to use and which not. So when I say resource, I'm talking about.
You're talking about vagina.
Valley of life. Okay.
You're talking about vagina.
Yes.
Got you.
Okay. And so I feel like whether the girl is broke, rich, in the middle, conventionally attractive, unattractive, because they, fat, whatever they want to call it, I feel like that has no bearings on the resource that men are looking for, and they will. And so when it's objectified, their economic standing it doesn't matter. Whereas for men, I feel like women realize that while they're I feel like while their Prince Charming is something that they're told to look for, I think when they get older, they realize that that's not like a reality. So I don't feel like I feel like that's something that women may want, but okay, maybe I should say it this way. I feel like women are more willing to settle or accept the fact that that the man that they choose to be with may not be financially abundant in the way that society tells us that they should be. And I feel like they're more accepting of that. And so because they're more accepting of that, I don't feel like men are objectified, specifically to be providers at the same level as women are objectified and to be providing resources. That's what I'm trying to say.
I also think that women are objectified in many different ways, whereas this is pretty much the only way that men are objectified.
Well, I think that's the most common way, but I definitely think that we can have I think women can have their little things like you find a man attractive or whatever, in this example, I'm going to use a celebrity. Like if you go to see like a singer or something and perfect example. There was like a video not too long ago of the Chris Brown concert and the girl's like, take your shirt off. Take your shirt off. And he's like, I like my clothes. That was his nice way of saying he don't want to take his shirt off. I just feel like women can objectify men, but it doesn't hit the same because we're in a patriarchy. So I just feel like it don't hit the same, even with the what do they call them?
But I don't.
Shorts.
But wait, I don't think that is. Most women don't care if a man takes. That's literally Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Chris Brown, right? Like that's not women objectifying men. That is those women at that concert who paid however much money to go there, objectifying Chris Brown, like happens all the time with a celebrity, but a woman, a regular woman could have been on stage and men would have been, if they wasn't saying it, they'd have been thinking to take your shirt off. You see what I'm saying? It's a completely different thing. That's what I mean. It's not like women don't, it's not a reverse objectification. Like women don't, as a group, objectify men as a group. Like that's like highly uncommon.
So like the whole hoochie daddy shorts thing, like isn't that like low key objectifying men? Because we know like the whole
that is a joke. Women don't give a fuck if you wear hoochie daddy shorts and gray sweatpants and stuff like that. That's something that men made into a joke and tried to like act like women really be fainting over hoochie daddy shorts when they really couldn't care less. Most motherfuckers don't even work their legs out anyway. Like they don't care.
True. They do skip leg day a lot.
Yeah, like
okay, well I can see that. Nobody's trying to be a pick-me. Me saying that I feel like women should decenter men and that they should look to be providers for themselves and not look to men to be their providers is not a pick-me. Because women are doing that and it's not working. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not lost. Like,
oh wait, who you talking to?
To the comments. I'm just responding to the women in the comments.
Hey man, hold on, man. What? Can y'all not respond to the comment? Like, here's the thing. If you up here, I'm talking to you. I'm not reading the comments, but y'all constantly reading the comments. You don't think that that's rude?
I'm sorry, I'm just used.
I got you. If you want to read the comments, that's fine. You could go in the comments and read the comments and respond to them all you want to. But you're up here to talk to me, I would assume, or to talk at least. And here we are talking, and you're in the comments. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like to talk to me.
Okay, I didn't realize that when we step into your live that it was only just like a one-on-one conversation. I thought it was all encompassing, where I'm like, we're all talking together. That's what I thought it was. But I don't mind ignoring the comments.
Yeah, I would prefer we have the conversation because I'm not reading the comments. So when you start saying like, I'm not a pick me and da-da-da-da-da, I'm like, where is she getting that from? I didn't say that. See what I'm saying?
Yes, so we're on the same page
yeah.
now. Yeah, so...
real quick.
I guess my
Asia,
level of...
Asia, give me 1 second. Somebody, Osa sent the super chat. She said, how does take your shirt off hurt men? How does women saying take your shirt off hurt men?
I was using that as an example. I feel like that's why I said I feel like when women do it, it doesn't hit the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at, we're just talking about the definition of objectifying someone, whether it's, gawking at the boys at the basketball court and wanting them to take their shirt off, or the guys at the gym and even though it's a joke, the gray sweatpants. But like I said, I feel like when girls do it, it just doesn't hit the same, but it's still objectification. Just like if guys are looking for girls to, step out with the sundress on. That's that whole, like, girls love sundresses, but we also know why the guys like the sundresses. Is it that deep? No. But is it objectification? Yes. And so I was just responding when I said, I just feel like in this sense, if we're comparing women's bodies being objectified to men being objectified as women wanting them to be providers, I just feel like, in my experience, I just feel like women aren't, I feel like women may aspire to want a male who can provide, but I think they know that that's not a reality. So just like how you say that girls really don't care about if guys are wearing gray sweatpants, I don't think women really care I don't think women care to the level that you would think that they would about men being to provide. And to me, providing means whether I choose to work or not, you're able to pay for my lifestyle, his lifestyle, and all the bills. That's my definition of a provider. That is not the reality. And if that was something that we were holding fast to, then the way that we relate to men would be a lot different. And so because of that, I just feel like women are more accepting of men not having as much money and not being able to be providers. Therefore, I don't feel like the objectification level is at the same level as men and the way that they want women's bodies. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mello, what's good, brother? Mello. He might have accidentally came up here.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know I was.
I just said
I was in here.
I just said it. I was like, you probably accidentally came up here. Yeah, you in here, brother. My bad.
Nah, my bad. Don't worry about it.
You
Thanks,
good?
though.
All right, man.
So, hey, can we go over a couple of points right there?
Yeah, by all means.
So, hey, here's the thing about the objectification, right? Like,
hold on. Let me read this real quick. Hold on. Damn it. See, that's why I was trying to read it. Hold on, give me a second. Oh man. Why is she? They ask, why are you fighting so hard to downplay the patriarchy, Asia?
How am I downplaying the patriarchy? Maybe I'm not saying my point clear, right? This is what I'm saying.
I think, wait, let me tell you, I think why they're saying that. Because when you compare the real, like the damage and harm that men objectifying women cause versus women screaming at a Chris Brown concert to take off his shirt, it does sound like you're downplaying the effects of the patriarchy on women, to me.
Okay, so I think that's where the point was getting lost. That's not what I was trying to say. I'm not at all comparing a woman telling a man or Chris Brown to take his shirt off. That's why I said if women do it, it doesn't hit the same. And you asked for an example. That was the example that I gave. I said the only thing that I can really think of is the example that you said about men being providers. And when I said, because we know that men being providers is not the norm, is not the mass reality for most men like that. Is not the reality for most men. I'm saying I feel like women are more susceptible to having relationships with men who either make less than them or make the same amount, and the bills are shared if they're paying any of the bills at all. And so that's why I said I feel like the ones who get objectified the most are the women's bodies, because the economic component to that doesn't matter. All they're worried about is what that body resource provides, which is why I said that women get more objectified. But then I also said I just feel like women should decenter men, and instead of aspiring to be in relationships with men who can provide a lifestyle for them, they should look to provide a lifestyle for themselves. So that is actually the antithesis of the patriarchy, because patriarchy wants women to be subservient to them. And I'm saying, when you take your power back and you provide for yourself, you are not beholden to those things. That's what I was saying. That's the point that I was trying to make. But nobody's defending men. Decentering men is the point that I'm trying to make. And men objectify women the most, so decenter them. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that women objectify men on the same level.
I'm not saying that. Somebody said, I'm in a Southern voice, say they wanted me to tell you to hop down now, but I ain't gonna say it in the Southern voice. So hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. They got it. Hey, Agent, I got questions. So why bring it up if you defaulted to the norm?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Why bring what up?
Why bring up the comparisons? Like the Chris Brown and the blah, 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 you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, why bring that stuff up?
So I think what I was trying to say is that there's a difference between objectifying somebody financially as opposed to objecting somebody physically. I think that's what I was trying to say, and maybe it got lost. Maybe I didn't articulate it right, because we're not really objectifying the man's body. We're trying to objectify his pockets, what he can provide, as opposed to.
That's like an economic oppression. That's not objectification. Means that you're a physical feature. You are trying to, you're trying to gain access to that. You want to object. You want to turn them into an object. That's what that means.
But the question says, who gets objectified the most? Men objectifying women's bodies, and it says women only seeing men as providers. If women are only seeing men as providers, that's an economic thing. Not providing.
I think when you see when you see a person as a tool, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it be a tool to make money or a tool to have sex with or a tool to have babies or whatever, then that's what I'm talking about when I speak of the objectification. They wanted me to see if Jeff would say it to her, but I don't think Jeff gonna say.
That's what I'm saying. As providers, so what are they providing? Because if you're not, are you talking about money? Are you talking about a lifestyle?
Well, yeah, money would provide the lifestyle, yeah, essentially.
Right. So what am I not expressing when I just so is economics not talking about like money? I just said you're objectifying the pockets. You want the money, and you're looking for men to provide money to provide a lifestyle for you, right? That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, first off, just men in this economy can't do that, right? So men can like a storyteller and do that type of thing, but the men just can't. We can't in this type of systemic oppression that we have on this economy. But to go back to the patriarch thing, like I want to use the example that you used, and you said it does not matter what a woman brings to the table as long as she brings that object to the table. Doesn't matter how she looks or how she acts, as long as she brings that object to the table. So that was your objectification of women by men. And then the example of objectification of men sexually was Chris Brown. I ain't Chris Brown.
So I feel like
ain't nobody on this panel, ain't nobody in these comment section Chris Brown. So that being the case, like that showing the vast differences in between men and women being objectified. A man will objectify all women, all of them. Don't matter any woman, almost any man will objectify any woman in your eyes. It does not matter where she's at on the scale, but she's on that scale, so she's going to be objectified by somebody. And then your example went to a millionaire that literally has women paying money, thousands of dollars for a meet and greet picture so they can put it on the ground. You see what I'm saying? Like
so
that's the difference in between.
Okay, can I respond? Mm-hmm. Let me retract the Chris Brown, because I even said, I don't know, because I was on the spot. I said, I'm trying to think of an example. I said, I'm trying to think of an example that everybody knows. And then I just said Chris Brown. Clearly, that was a bad example. I feel like you guys are harping on that one example. So let's just erase that. Yep. The point that I was trying to say is that I feel like when it comes to women objectifying men, and I think maybe this is what it got lost because I clearly used a bad example. All I was trying to say is I feel like women objectify men economically men objectify women physically.
You
and
think,
because women
wait, but Asia, that's what I'm saying. You think most women objectify men economically?
In comparison, so just here, let me finish so that you see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Like I don't know what the other part of your name is. I just see Alabama and it says F. I don't know.
You can call me
Alabama.
So I see what Alabama was saying, that when it comes to women and their bodies and the resources that the body provides, it doesn't matter what scale it's on. And what I'm saying is, and men don't care about whether or not women have money or not, for the most part. And what I'm saying, so I was saying, in comparison to men, women, it's not this, like, women don't do that. Like how you like with the I feel like the thing that the forefront that's in women's minds is what they can provide. That's what I was trying to say. That's what they objectify the most. Do women also say little things about the physicality? Yes. Like, do women prefer a man that's fit or tall and has, a certain length, member, and all that type of stuff? That's also objectification. Those things are talked about, but it's not in the same regard as what women were saying. In the same regard as how men objectify women. That's the comparison that I was trying to make. That's what I was saying.
Can I ask you a yes or no question then? Do you think that that's most women doing that? Objectifying men for those features? Do you think that most women objectify men for those features?
No, and that's why I was saying I think women's bodies are objectified more than men, because women as a whole, I feel like, aren't objectifying men at the same level that men objectify women. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But clearly, I must be doing a bad job.
Yeah, that I agree with. But whereas right now, the only thing that I was really tripping off of was you were saying like
physical. I like because objectifying somebody's body and just what they can do. If you're objectifying a man's body and what he physically can do for you, that is also a part, like de-watching. Like, that's a whole term. That's a thing. And so while it's on a smaller scale in comparison to men, I'm saying that it happens, but I don't think it happens on the same level. So what the point that I'm trying to make is, no matter what it is, whether it's a physical, schedule type of thing or an economic thing, I feel like the levels don't compare. That's what I'm trying to say. And then back to what Alabama was saying, because of because of the way the economy is, men aren't able to
provide. I got you.
Right, and be the sole breadwinners. And so I'm saying, I just think women should, and women accept that, they understand that, and so they are willing to still enter into relationships with these men despite not being able to. They
said Asia has internalized misogyny. Prove me wrong. That's what the Cash App said.
I don't care.
I got you. Oh, but wait. Hold on.
I feel like
Asia, hold on.
I feel like people.
Asia.
I feel like
Asia.
People,
take a second. It's okay.
No, I am.
I don't want you to defend
internalized misogyny. How is that internalized misogyny if I just said that women should decenter men? Is what am I saying not true? That men are not able to be sole breadwinners and sole providers? That is not the status quo, at least here in America. So how is that internalized misogyny? It's a fact. That's a fairy tale that women are being sold. Oh, happily ever after, you get the big walk, and then you go and you move into your big house, and you're a stay-at-home wife, and the man comes and the man goes to work and he brings home the big. All of that. That's not reality. Most homes are if the person is in a relationship or married, both people are working. Both people are paying bills.
Okay. I gotta get on to, we're gonna ask some other people some questions though. You could, I got you, but let me move around real quick. BPG, what's good? Let me ask Mello this, because I brought him up. I don't want to keep, how the men's minds be. Mello, you said that you think women objectify men to the same rate that women objectify men, or that men objectify women.
Partially, I'm gonna say yes, but it's displayed differently.
Interesting.
You see, men are objectified but it's not ingrained in women for them to be out loud with it and expose it. So it's just more internalized. The only difference with men is since men are, I guess you call them the predators or the approachers, then men approach women based off of, you know, how they view their appearance. That's the only difference. That's really the biggest difference.
So how men like systemically oppress women and like can try to control their bodies. That wouldn't be another example of that.
Well, no, I'm just saying how you put it. Women objectify men by their income and also by their physical appearance.
I don't think I didn't put.
I know you heard about that pole vaulter yesterday.
Have not. Well,
Google the pole vaulter that all of a sudden he made it all the way over the pole, but his balls knocked over the pole.
Okay.
He was the most searched out by women, and his Instagram, everything blew up instantly based off of that one incident.
So what? What does that prove?
That people are objectified.
Man, what? That is not. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Because his wang hit the pole, then that's women objective. What? That's not an example of that, brother. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't get that at all. Echo Sue, hold on. Echo Sue, thank you for the super chat. She said Asia does not understand what objectification means. Go ahead. Oh, he already dropped. Damn it. Go ahead, BBG.
I know who's gonna do that, but yeah, because that's a terrible example. Especially since, first of all, if you say that you're watching the Olympics and that the reason why this man did not, score better or win or whatever for his category is because when he went over the pole, his wang knocked over the pole. Everybody's gonna Google that. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to Google that. Like, that's not because I want to Google it right now because that has got to be the strangest thing that I've ever heard of. Like that.
I saw like when he said it, I was like, oh, I saw that. I didn't think it was a thing. I just saw the video and was like, oh, that's funny, and kept it pushing. I didn't like look up the study behind I didn't read like no articles on it or nothing like that. It was just the video. It was like 15 seconds. I was like, oh, that's fucked up. He lost like that.
But his For You page had it on there a bunch. I'm just saying.
That's responsible with your algorithm. But yeah, and I think that's why when you talk about men being objectified against women being objectified, like this is just another area where men lose in, because even men being objectified as providers, like we know that we live in a society where men are making more money still. Like we still live in that space. And even for generations, like we are quite literally just now at the generation where women can even come close to making what men make, and they're able to have a level of independence that for sure our mothers and grandmothers did not have. So now you have women who are able to care for themselves. You see men being used less and less for their finances because women just don't even want to be bothered. Like our birth rates and marriage rates are rapidly declining. Like I don't know if anybody else has looked that up, but when you look at those birth rates, like there is a sharp upside down V of the amount of women who are having children because they just don't feel the need to be in a relationship. So that men being objectified, quote unquote, for their, labor or for their finances was always a direct result of the system that they created. Like they created a space where women had to use them for finances. So now they're being objectified for their finances. Like that's kind of a dumb moment, but there was never a time where you had to objectify a woman for her body. You didn't have to create porn to, create women into sexual objects to fulfill your very weird, dark fantasies. Like that wasn't a necessary thing. You didn't need brothels or strip clubs or, stuff like that so that you could be able to see women in sexual ways. You didn't need a woman to be catering to you or to be feeding ideas to you so that you could go on to be, marked in history as a brilliant man. But I think that that's the reason why men don't see that in the same way because they have largely benefited from the objectification of women.
I agree.
Let me read this super chat. Osa said, Asia, I think you're very smart and articulate, but there is some internalized misogyny. The harm of the objectification of women equal violence against women. Men providing does not cause harm to men.
Okay. I feel like people aren't really hearing what I'm saying. Did I not say and make it clear? Didn't me and you not clarify where I said that women are objectified more than men? All right. Is the question not who gets objectified more? Men objectifying women's bodies, or women only seeing that as providers? And what Miss BPG just said, which is women understand the reality that men cannot be providers in the way that society tells us that they should be, that we are no longer back in the day where women weren't allowed to work, weren't even really allowed to have their own bank account, and all those other type of oppressive things that were put in place to make women, to force women to be dependent on men. We are no longer in that space. And so because we are no longer in that space, we have the option to be independent. We do not, like she said, we don't care. We don't have to necessarily be looking for that.
I think when you, but Asia, real quick, I think when you came up, you were initially saying that most women do want a provider. That's what you, that was like pretty much the first thing I heard you say out after when you said the thing about like, you think that women are objectified more. Like the next thing out of your mouth was like,
society. I'm pretty sure I said society tells women that they should look for men who are providers, and that society has convinced women that those are the type of men that you should have. The Prince Charming. Then I even broke it down. You get married with a nice ring in the house, and you're a stay-at-home wife. That is like the ideal, right? That is the ideal. All of even culturally, whether you in the music, in the movies, in the TV shows, and all that type of stuff, like it's affluence. We have a whole Housewives franchise, which is based off of the ideal of the woman being a housewife, and they are married to men with money and are providers, and they stay home and bicker about foolishness. So what I'm saying is that is not the reality. And because women, we as the mass of know that is not the reality, that is not something that we seek. And so because we don't seek that, because we know that's not a reality, that is not the average man, the objectification is not there because that is not the average man. That's not the status quo. But the resources that a woman's body can provide is there despite all of those other things. Therefore, I feel as though men feel like women should be of service to them. That's what I was saying. That's what I am saying. And that's why I said I agree with BPG. The birth rates have gone down. The marriage rates have gone down. They're not even lasting that long. The average marriage lasts 8 years. One of the top reasons why people get divorced is because of finances. Women are going to school. They're getting their degrees. They're getting their jobs. They're starting their businesses. They're doing their own thing. They're being about themselves. This whole women's movement that's happening right now.
They said don't switch up now, Asia. Now they said don't switch up now. Now that you got caught.
Has been consistent.
Asia.
That women should not be looking to men to provide for them because it's not. And so because I said it's not fair, it isn't fair because they get mad, they get angry,
Asia.
and they take that out on women.
Asia. If I'm reading the Cash App, can you let me finish the Cash App? It's like really important.
I didn't know you were reading the Cash App.
Yeah, I'm not reading the comments. I'm reading Cash Apps. I only pretty much read Cash Apps and Super Chats. So yeah, that's what they were saying. I missed one too, so I got to go back. Give me a second. They asked, what do you want men and women to do?
That's a blanket question. What do you mean? What do I want men and women to do?
I don't know.
I'm not responding to you. I'm responding to.
I know. I was like, I don't know what they meant by that.
That's right. So, You know, like I feel like maybe I wasn't as eloquent. Like I said, I used a bad example with the Chris
okay.
Brown thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that was.
I don't want to go back around. I feel like you said what you need to say as far as that's concerned. They don't understand. They don't understand. We disagree. We disagree.
I'm just responding to the questions that you're asking.
That the super chat,
because
yeah.
they're also saying I'm internalized misogyny and all these type of things, and I'm just debunking that because that's not the first person who said it. I know you said don't read the comments, but they were saying that in the comments, and then you read it out loud from the Cash App.
Yep.
So,
oh hi Ty, what's good?
Hello. I'm kind of nervous, so but bear with me. I think.
Please stop asking her questions. We tired. Go ahead.
You don't want me to respond, but you like reading those things out loud.
No, I don't mind you responding. I want to finish, and B, if you're going to respond with the exact same thing you already said, then why respond? You know what I'm saying? Which that's what you've been doing. That's what I don't mind.
You're asking me like the questions.
I gotta ask the question. They Cash App. What do you want me to do? I'm just
no. I'm not saying. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't say you.
Yeah, I'm just.
So the people who are sitting in the Cash App questions, they're kind of like the same thing. So it forces me to reiterate my point because they're missing it. So then I have to say it over again, even though I feel like the point that I've made is clear. So while you understand it, the people who are sending you the captions are either choosing to be obtuse or they're just doing it like to be funny, but you're reading the question, so I'm responding to the question, which forces me to reiterate the same thing that I've already said.
Okay.
I would like to clock something real quick. Asia, you keep saying society says that men are providers and that type of stuff. Society doesn't say that. Let's narrow that down to men. Men say that. Men tell other men to be providers. Women don't do that. Women don't say men. There might be a small subset, right? So we're not talking about all women, but in general, like I said, women are decentering men. Women are doing so. It's kind of confusing because the language that you're using is like it's contradicting itself, and that's really what you keep saying the same thing, but the same thing keeps contradicting itself. Like I said, society's not telling men to be providers. Men are saying be providers. Men, capitalistic men are saying this is what you need to do to be a man.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Alabama. I have to disagree because, especially as me being a woman and being in these spaces and conversations and things like that, it is definitely talked about women wanting men to be providers. That's why I also give the examples of music and television and media and all the things that we see in conjunction with the conversation. Society does say that men should be providers, and I think,
and Asia, I think that's what they're clocking because that is definitely riding the fence. Just so you're clear. But let me read because we got a couple more. Super chat. Amy Mon said, sometimes patriarchy is so indoctrinated that we women participate out of survival, which is a perfect time for this, aka self and internalized misogyny. Decentering men includes seeing how we women have been programmed and then deprogrammed. Perfect. Clarice said, we just want you to land at 747.
Okay, so like you're reading these. Okay, so ready? You read these questions, and then am I not supposed to respond? And you tell me to land it.
There was no question. Nobody asked you a question right now. Those are two statements. You ain't got to respond to either one. They just made two statements. Right? But you can respond if you want to. I'm just saying there was no question. You don't have to respond to anything. Go ahead. Oh, hi, Ty.
All right. So personally for me, how can I say it? Society has been black and white. Personally, for me, society is ran by men. And the reason why I'm saying it, like from dawn of time, men were the providers, women were, in my opinion, the supplier, right? Men tend to, back in the day, how can I say it? Oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought, Lord Jesus, because I'm nervous, but
don't be nervous.
I guess the point that I'm trying to make, society has damn men as everything. So, back in the day, like, even with, how can I say it? Men, like, even in different culture, you will have to pay a price just to marry someone or provide, you have to show that you are financially responsible to even have a wife, right? And with women, they were viewed as a status. The richer the man is, the better you are in society. So men has always objectified women. And that's why, in my opinion, beauty and sex has always been currency. So, of course, generations go, whatever, and it still reigned true. Even with the songs with strippers, the fantasy of women, and Playboy. So it's kind of hard to outrun or kind of say like women don't be, doesn't need that to chase or keep men. So I just feel like women who objectify men is completely different because it's out of survival. If you get my gist. Oh, I'm nervous. Please don't judge me, but
why you every time you say it, that's what I'm saying. Don't even say it. Just I'm trying to hold it together, but you're gonna make me start cackling. Just talk. We listening. You good?
Okay. But to me, men run the world.
Okay.
On everything. And to me, I just hate that
Beyonce would disagree.
Trying to compare who does one better. And I'm kind of like, the bottom line is it all goes back to men. No matter what we do, it's going to go back to men. And to me, I just hate that women, I just don't think women just go solely on. Another thing too, it's kind of like women are shamed to give up the goods without getting something in return. So that's why, like, the city girls, like, women shame other women for not getting anything in return. So it's kind of like I mentioned earlier, beauty is currency. Because what's the point of opening your legs and the oldest job was prostitution?
That's what they say.
And, I don't want us to be oblivious to the fact.
I think that might be a lie. I think prostitution,
What?
I think that might be a lie, but I could be wrong.
That's not true, yeah.
So I could think of like 10,000 things we would need, but before that. And yeah, whatever though. But I hear you though.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, even with older women, if they, back in the day, if a wife passed away, they get a younger, prettier woman, they offer money. So to me, that's always been a thing. So in my opinion, to sum it all up, men are responsible for this system as we use today. Because it's not going anywhere. It's implanted in music, relationships, overall. Because even with, so-called gold diggers, some women want to just profit off of what they have because they know that it's like a golden ticket. Men is going to pay for it, period. They can downplay it, like you said, like a scale of women, to the ugliest, to the finest. Somebody is going to pay. Okay?
Somebody gonna pay, yeah. That's true. Hold on, let me get to Kenny real quick. Let me read this Cash App too. Clarice asks Asia, is she finished or is she done? But she muted up, so she.
You being petty, you being real petty.
Who?
I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the person who said.
Oh, I was like, who?
Their name. I don't know what was the person's name?
Clarice.
The Cash App?
Clarice,
you're being petty. Because literally, Miss Ty, low-key said the same thing I just said. She even said that other women will shame you if you give it up for free. So, like I said, like I've been saying, everyone has been basically kind of saying the same things in different ways. I just want to clarify. I meant it as currency. That I understand that. I understand that, but also, like you said, beauty is currency. Men objectify that, but you're not giving it. But the men who are objectifying it, you're not giving it to the broke men, and that's what you were talking about. Men paying that. It's plenty of women that give it to broke. Yes, I understand that, but that's on the opposite of things. That's why I said society, because society is a group of people, men and women, the community. It's not all men, just like it's not all women. But we're not, like how you said, in media, the music, the things that we see and hear, social media. It is told to us that women are supposed to show up a certain way and that men are supposed to show up in a certain way. And in this sense, we're talking about providing, and we're talking about providing money. And that's the type of men that we should go after, are the men who are providers. And that's how men end up becoming.
Time out. Let me read this Cash App. Camille said she's blaming women for the patriarchy.
No, exactly. Yes, you are, Asia. How am I blaming women for the patriarchy? I just said, because I know you took what I said and kind of tried to twist it. Overall, that I was summarizing, men are responsible for this system. Yes, men are the ones who created the system. I mean, I thought that was understood. Yes, but you keep saying that women should take some blame on, because women are responsible for it. Like we don't all participate in it somehow. Women do not have a choice. That's what I'm saying. Did I say that? Did I say so? Okay.
One at a time, y'all. One at a time. One at a time.
What is it that you guys are hearing that I'm saying? Because in my mind,
I think where the disconnect is, like I already explained, though, I'll say it again, is when you insert women into the situation and you try to act like women pretty much have anything to do with this. I think that's where we, like, you keep saying it's society. That's what Jeff clocked. That's what I clocked. Like, saying it's society makes it sound like it goes both ways, as if women are like a part of the problem, so to speak. But they're really not, though. Yeah, I think whatever women are doing, yeah, exactly. I think whatever women are doing is just out of a reaction to the, to the oppression. So saying like, so you're saying, essentially you're saying the same thing that what's his name was saying earlier when he first came up here, and it's always wrong. To me, that's always a bad approach. To me personally.
What's a bad approach?
Of like, it the same thing we talking about racism, and it'd be like, well, black people have internalized racism and colorism, and I'll be like, I get that, but we out here just trying to survive.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
I see what you're saying. That's not what I'm trying to say. When I say let's also act like we don't understand that there are also, especially older generations, that participate in this patriarchy. And so on both sides, and the women that we're talking about are the ones that are decentering men. That is not all women. This is a new age thing, a new age revolution that's happening. I was not, though. This is,
hold on, y'all. Wait. Time out. Wait. I got to do two things. I need Kenny to go, and I got to read this super chat. Osa said, Public Jeff and BPG, please explain how it harms men. I don't think it does. This is what is getting lost in this conversation. I'm not trying to be funny. We tied on YouTube, and I hear it because I don't think it affects men. So that's the way I could explain it. I don't think that I don't think the shit that women
when did I ever say that it affects men?
Okay. We'll get back to that.
You disagreed with me.
Yeah. But hold on, wait, y'all. Hold on, we gonna spin her. We gonna spin the block. Let me read.
And I said that Chris Brown was a bad example.
I got you.
And I recanted that. I admitted that was a bad example. I was put on the spot. And I threw it out there.
We got you.
It was a bad example.
Okay. So let me read this one. Yes, Charlie. Asia, please take a moment and examine your words. Your initial stance was that men and women had equal faults, and closing it with dissenter men doesn't negate all of your talking points to say our actions are equal. Fair point. That's what it's. Asia, hold on. Asia, wait. Come on. I promise. I'm gonna let you go. Kenny, go ahead, brother. Let me get the last person that ain't saying nothing in here. Go ahead, Kenny.
What's up, brother? Blessing to your platform. You always get me triggered and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I be hot. but so I want to put that out.
That's funny.
It ain't personal. Just man talking shit, letting shit bounce off.
I love it.
Answering your question, I know people not gonna like this either, but the truth is, we both decentralizing each other right now. Like, this shit is serious and it is real.
Bullshit. Right, men are not decentering men. Women.
Let me tell you why. I'll make everything I say, I'll point it out with an example.
Okay.
So, in the past, you had more men actually really having kids with women. You know, I ain't saying they all stayed in the house for various reasons. I ain't gonna even get into that. That's too complex. But you know, it was a time where a man always wanted a girlfriend. He always, you know, was gonna try to be getting to a woman. You know,
that time is now, Kenny.
It's so toxic out here right now. We repulse from each other, but we're gonna still play the game. Generally speaking, people gonna still play the game to get their needs met, but the love ain't there no more. And that's why I keep stressing prostitution.
Hey, wait, watch that word. SW.
What do you call it?
SW, sex work. XW.
There you go. SW, thank you.
Yeah.
So SW. The emotions and the care and the respect and love, that's dwindling down.
That was never there, Kenny. That was never there.
It was? Come on.
It was never there, and that's why. And that's men romanticizing 50 years ago when your grandma was getting her head knocked between a washer and dryer and nobody could save her. So she was. Sir, let me finish. Back when your grandma was getting her head knocked between the washer and dryer, and she, sir, can I finish what I'm saying? When your grannies was getting their head knocked between the washer and dryer, and so she was poisoning his food slowly and was sleeping with the milkman. That the love was not there, brother. Back when women were forced, when child brides were forced to go with a 14-year-old, 13, 12-year-old girl was forced to go with a 35-year-old or 20 or 28-year-old man. The love was not there. When the women were asking for the woman's hand in marriage, basically superseding the wants of the woman and going to the father and saying, "Hey, I got enough money. Can I marry your daughter?" Right? The love wasn't there. So when you say the love was there back in the day, what you mean is the oppression was thicker. That's all you really saying, because it ain't never been about love. Because you can't point to a time in recent you and me can't point to a time in history where men love women as a group. You can't show me a time when men love women.
Or if that's true, then it'll be the same for women as well. Because if men were really doing all that shit you saying, you know, the woman ain't love the man either.
That's not true.
Man, who gonna love an abuser? Come on.
That what? Wait.
Abusive absolutes like that, because that's not true. I know that ain't true for my family for a fact.
Did you just ask who would love an sir? Do you not? Hold on. Hold on. I got a question for you, Kenny. I got a question for you. Were you spanked were you spanked as a child? Sometimes. Okay. That's abuse. Do you love your parents?
Yeah.
Okay, so you love your abuser. Happens all the time.
No. You speak.
Got him. Got him.
Hell no, I ain't agreeing to that.
Got him.
So I can't overtalk you, but I don't agree with those absolutes. Straight up.
What absolute?
The absolutes you just mentioned, from your example, from abuse, from me being spanked. Man, getting spanked oftentimes, most of the time, I deserved it. I was never abused. That's an extreme.
It's not an extreme. That's a reality. That's the definition of abuse. Getting.
That don't mean abuse automatically. Sometimes,
Hold on, Kenny. Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you another question. If I hit my wife, is that not abusive?
Did she hit you?
Nope, she didn't hit me. She did something that was wrong. She made my food wrong, or she did something that she should have known not. Hey, you know what? I'll even go further. She cheated on me. I caught her cheating on me. If I hit her, is that not abusive?
Yeah, but that's a good example. But again,
excuse me?
Speaking absolutes, just saying everybody.
Hold on. You're missing the Kenny, the point is going over your head, brother. What I'm asking you is if I hit my wife, is that abuse or not? That's what I want to know.
We're talking about parents and kids, though.
Jesus H. Christ, can you answer the question? If I hit my wife, if my wife hits me, is that abuse?
Again, it's circumstantial.
Sir.
If you hit her, yeah. So you're an abuser.
Yeah, I'm not. Do you not like this? It is crazy. You all don't think you understand what you're really saying right now. I'll give you one more chance. If I hit my wife, is that not abusive? Yes or no? That's all I want to know.
Not if it's self-defense.
She's not self-defense aside. It's not self-defense. Okay. If I hit my wife, is that abusive?
Quite possibly. Most of the time it's going to be.
Oh my God, Kenny, this is crazy.
Hey, I leave room for reality. And all situations ain't the same. Everything is circumstantial.
It's certainly.
Give us trials, cases. We get details.
When is me hitting my wife not abuse? Kenny, when is me hitting my wife not abusive aside from self-defense?
Again, like you just said it properly at that context. So you said it right then. But prior to that, the absolutes were so strong.
I already conceded to. I already gave you self-defense, Kenny.
That ain't true.
I already gave you self-defense, Kenny. I already gave it to you. I said, aside from self-defense, if I hit my wife, is it abuse? And then you still didn't answer the question, so don't use it as an excuse. So I ask it again. Outside of self-defense, if I hit my wife, is that abuse? Yes or no?
Yeah, outside of self-defense.
Okay, cool. Now, outside of self-defense, if you hit your child, is that not abuse?
No, brother, this is
These motherfuckers. There's something not connecting. There's not, the gray matter is not gray. There's something not going on, bro. What's not true? Go ahead, man. This is crazy.
So, when a child is young and they can't talk and they can't even comprehend what you're telling them to do, they need to understand consequence.
Then why whoop them?
Consequences are very effective.
That's the one.
Let me finish. Yeah. Can I finish?
Go ahead. Let him go. I'm sorry.
No, it's not, because let me tell you what's dumb. When a child go cut the stove on and got the gas blowing and you sitting over there trying to talk to a 1-year-old and he don't even know what the hell you talking about. But if you slap the shit out that ass one time, he ain't gonna touch that stove again. He liable to save the whole house life.
That's a lie.
That's a lot of punk-ass parents right
That's
there.
a lie. Let me ask you a question, Kenny. How many times were you spanked?
I don't know.
Multiple. You were spanked multiple times, right?
But I've been wrong multiple times.
Exactly. So spanking somebody one time doesn't cure anything. You more than likely you have to keep spanking them because people are gonna keep making mistakes.
If it's a real serious offense, yes, it does. People remember that. Adults remember getting beat. You know what I'm saying? So if you cross the wrong line, oh yeah, that is effective communication, and you will not cross that line again without knowing the consequences that you're risking. And that's what's wrong with a lot of society.
Can I ask you a question, Kenny? Whose fault is it if your 1-year-old turns on your stove? Whose fault is that? Yours or your 1-year-old's?
I just made an example.
I know, and I'm just asking a question about your example. Whose fault is that?
But it's his fault for still cutting the stove on.
So it's his fault for being one. Hold on. So it's his fault for being 1-year-old.
It's his fault for messing with gas.
Because he's a 1-year-old.
Again, so I gotta teach him.
Or you gotta protect him.
I'd rather do that than again don't have any boundaries and it's just chaos and people just run around doing.
Do you think your 1-year-old child who can't understand you talking to them? Do you think they understand? Do you think their body or their mind rationalizes or processes that physical abuse? No, listen to what I'm saying. Do you think that their mind or body processes the physical abuse? What I'm saying is just because your intentions were good, because you're just trying to stop them from blowing up the house or whatever, do you think a 1-year-old understands that? Or do you think they just think you're abusing them? Because their body there is a biological reaction. Kenny, listen to what they don't at 1 year. You just how? I ain't saying be an abuser, like just beating the kid 24. No, I didn't say beating them 24/7. You're just making it worse. I didn't say you got to beat them 24/7. Hitting them one time is abusive. All it takes is one time. So I'm trying to understand. You just made the very case as to why you shouldn't be hitting on a 1-year-old. You just said they can't even understand me. So why are you hitting on them if they can't understand you?
They understand pain and consequence.
So they understand abuse, which is a biological reaction.
On fire. Like, come on, man. Stop it.
Stop what? Telling the truth?
No, it's an exaggeration. You see the point.
I don't see your point. I don't hit my kids. I don't, Kenny. If I saw your point, I would be an abuser like you. I'm not. I don't see your point. I don't hit my kids. That's abusive. See what I'm saying? If I saw your point, I would actually hit my kids. But I don't see your point. And the reason why I don't see your point is because I know that hitting my kid is abuse. I know that because it's abusive. Especially the case you're making for hitting a 1-year-old is the nastiest work I've ever heard on the internet. For hitting a 1-year-old, you're saying they don't understand you anyway. So you shouldn't hit them if they don't understand. What are you talking about?
You're acting irrational on the point I'm making about consequence. This is no different. Kitty, how is it a 1-year-old's fault that he touches the stove? It's their fault. I'm saying we're going to understand critical consequences for extreme activities. Okay? Now, you can do whatever you want to in your house, but certain lines will not be crossed, and that understanding is going to be understood.
Yeah, this is what I be talking about when I tell y'all that men, when I be telling y'all men are abusers, just in general. This is what I be talking about right here. Men are abusers. Woo! Crazy.
Here's the thing, Kenny. Tell me, the 1-year-old, tell me how they know the difference. Because you're saying consequence like they understand consequences of actions. You tell me how they can differentiate the difference in between turning the stove on, turning the play stove on that his sister has,
turning the light on, turning the light on, turning the toy on,
turning the light switch on, pulling the ceiling, turning the box fan on. You tell me how the child can tell the difference in between all those things. You can tell because you're a grown adult that knows fire. But a 1-year-old don't know how to wipe themselves and don't know how to use the bathroom. No. So you're gonna
y'all be really like, hey, y'all really
shooting text messages, shooting movies on phones.
Hey man, you what?
Everything.
How did you feel after you beat a 1-year-old?
Okay, so that's
did it make you feel like a man?
So that's
did it make you feel like a man?
I'm not insecure, but I felt like I was definitely teaching a lesson, and I know it was learned because he never touched that stove again.
Or did you just watch him better?
Nah, bro, you just came from an abusive family.
This is crazy, bro.
Family, and that stuff ain't cool. I'm gonna tell you something. Me personally, I would never touch my child.
Ever.
Never touch them. I would mentally discipline them, which is, I think, is worse than physically. Like, I would do things that would mentally mess with them. But to me, that's better than
you would mentally abuse them.
You said that's worse. Well, not the A word, but I would mentally discipline them. So, like,
how?
Not a 1-year-old, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, so when they come to an age, I don't really believe in aging, but when they become to a certain, I don't believe in age, but when they come to a certain level of understanding, and I know they know what's good and what's bad, now it's time to take away things from you, like your cell phone, your tablet, your toys.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna mentally mess with you. I'm mentally gonna.
Well, I wouldn't call that mentally messing with you, but yeah, I get that. Okay, that's fair.
You see what I'm saying?
You had me thinking something way worse than that, but okay, that's.
No. You know what? I'm actually weird. I'm one of the only people that I've known in my life that have taken ECE courses, early childhood education, for those who don't know, so I could be a good father when I become a father. So I always told myself I wanted to learn about children before I became a father, so I could be a great father. Most men have never even taken ECE courses.
Where's Chris Hansen when you need him? But hey, real quick, let me give me 1 second. Let me read these. We put a pin in that. Let me go back. Let me read these. CR said, Pub, why are they acting like 14-year-old Big Mama love getting beat on by that old bastard she was forced to marry? They were trapped. That they romanticize it, CR. Men romanticize those relationships, and they know good and goddamn well them women didn't love them men like that. But they just want to go back to that time when women were forced to be with us. That's all they want. So they loved it there. See? Don't listen to nothing your granny told you about build yourself up. And the older women are telling here's the thing I love about older women versus older men. This is the thing I love about older women versus older men. Older women be actually giving the game to younger women. And I'm not saying all the time. Sometimes your granny, sometimes your aunties be on that like, you still ain't got a man. We know. Don't get me wrong. But them same women know, even when they be asking that, they still be on that like, go get your degree, go get your job, don't depend on no man. They just be wanting to see you get married and have babies and shit like that. I get that. I ain't gonna hold that against them. But like the older women be still giving the younger women the game, though. They really be leading them more in the righteous in the path of protection, right? Older men almost never give younger men the game. They almost never give young men the game. They always lying to young men.
That's a bad environment. I didn't grow up like that.
You did. You died. You out here saying you the older man I'm talking about.
That's somewhat true because the older woman I knew that always tried to act like they wanted to share knowledge with me only really wanted one thing from me. I remember being younger, an older woman trying to like get some D. So they always act like they was trying to be your auntie or try to be your friend, but they actually wanted something else.
Sir, that is not.
Nigga, what?
I'm sorry.
What the hell was that?
Like, I know older women that are what you call like pedos. I know older women who are pedos. That's the woman I was around that were older around me since like a long time that were pedos.
We ain't gonna talk about them on this page. They don't exist. Cause you know, I guess you was beating her head in to make her try to do that, right?
Let me read this. Let me read the super chat. Lady Muse. Wait. Lady Muse said, put this on gas for somebody to check Kenny's basement. I've had enough. They put 5 on Kenny head. Hey man. Come on up here, King Loaf. I like that comment. That was weird. I don't know what that was. Go ahead, BPG.
Can I also say though, I think it's very weird, like when, and I know that this is not the topic, but when parents talk about disciplining their kids and being and having the ability to hit a child that is supposed to be under your care and supervision, and believing that that's a justified action for a child doing the wrong thing, but never, ever facing the consequence for the fact that they left the child unattended. Like, so who gets the chance to go upside your head because you didn't went upside this child's head for doing a wrong thing? Because lest we forget, you still in the wrong for leaving a small child unattended in a space where they can hurt themselves. And I think that's the part where it always gets very weird and where like the logic kind of falls on itself. Because if you know that, you know,
the authorities. Sorry. Oh, come on, man. I'm sorry. I got caught reading the comments. That was crazy. Go ahead.
But like that's the thing, and that's where it gets weird. But I think that it's like this weird. I think there was a reason why you asked that question in the first place, because it's a weird revisionist history of like what it means to abuse and be abused. Like you know that you wouldn't want anybody doing that to you, and that's not acceptable for you, but it's okay for somebody else. And like especially when you talk about them relationships that our moms and grandmoms and great grandmoms had with the men that they were in relationships with back in the day, absolutely there were a whole lot of them who were in those kinds of relationships. Like full stop. When DV shelters first began opening, by the end of the decade, because they started in like the late 60s, like 69 or something like that. By the time 1977 or 1978 came around, you talking about hundreds of them had opened.
Let's talk about how black women abuse their children. If you want to bring up this, let's talk about how black women who are mentally unstable abuse their children all the time and are not fit to be mothers. We should be talking about that as well.
I think we can talk about that.
We should talk about the abortion rate in the black community.
Should we?
I agree. I think that we should talk about that. I think that we should talk about how there is a lack of reproductive resources within the black community, especially impoverished communities. I think that we should talk about not only how parents will abuse their power and misuse and mistreat and neglect their children, but how those rates of women abusing and neglecting their children is not very different from the men who are doing it. And the craziest part is
let's stop deflecting to the men. Let's talk about how dysfunctional black women are and how they abuse their children.
Hold on. Wait. Let BBG finish.
It's an equality thing on abuse. That's for everybody.
Am I confused? Because didn't he ask for us to talk about that?
Yeah. She talking about it.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it, because when you look at those rates of neglect, when you look at those rates of abuse, that those numbers are high for children. I never say that Black women are at the bottom of the totem pole. If you are familiar with anything that I've said, I've always said that Black children specifically, are at the bottom of that totem pole, because they are susceptible to whatever adults around them allow for them to
They get it the worst.
Which is usually a woman. So the woman has to be the leader.
Hold on, Kenny.
That's not. Hey, mute up. Let her finish, please. Go ahead, BBG.
Because the other thing is, but when you look at those numbers and you look at the rates in which children are being abused, you see quite literally, and we'll use this number. This is not an exact number. We'll use this number. If there are 12 million women who are single mothers who are specifically raising the kids, and there are 1 million men who are specifically raising the kids, the numbers of abuse are still very similar, which means that if there were more children in the houses with men, there would be more children, significantly more children being abused by men. Like, full stop. That's what happens, because those rates are very.
It's still deflection. You're not talking about women. You see, you can't even talk about women. You can't take no accountability for women. You're still deflecting back to men.
It's gaslighting too, because it's
Hey, hold on, y'all. Wait, one at a time. Hold on, wait. First of all, one at a time. Second of all, remember what I told y'all about me learning therapy terms in therapy like gaslighting and projection? Kenny he's an example of that. She's not gaslighting. You're just that's what I'm saying. I wish they never would have gave you niggas money. At the end of it, like, I swear to God, it's crazy. Go ahead, BBG.
Yeah, but that's and again,
he's just following the train of words that he's hearing without even knowing what the word means. You know, he's just saying whatever sounds right.
Because at the end of the day, to speak in a way that y'all can understand, at the end of the day, I didn't bring that up. That was brought to the conversation. I was asked the question, and when you look at those numbers, the rate of men abusing children is very similar to the rate of women abusing children, and there are less men around children. So if there are 20 women
hold on, bro. Let her can she finish the thought without y'all getting inspired to open up y'all mouths because she cooking you? Just let her finish, bro. If you disagree, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. Trust me, you got it. I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead, BBG.
Thank you. Because when everybody else talks, I stay on mute. And I have listened to y'all. We listened to Kenny for 20 minutes explain how he wasn't abusing his child when he know he was. And we know he was.
Diabolical.
For 20 minutes.
Diabolical. Whooping on a 1-year-old for cutting the stove on. Like, be fucking for real. That's nasty.
For a kid, he was supposed to be watching. So you just gonna have to sit tight.
Heidi, I appreciate it.
But again, like, all of these things are connected to things that are societal issues that point to the same thing. Like, and this is why we have the same conversations consistently about like how this shows up in a world that is built on patriarchy. Like, we know that these things, because let's be honest, even if we talked about smortions or going to the chop shop is what I say. You can feel how you feel about that analogy.
I like that analogy. It's funny.
It's nice. My daddy used to say that all the time. But even if we talk about that, men didn't have an issue with that as long as they were making the decision for women to do that. You can look that up. As long as men were making those decisions, they had zero issue with women getting multiple ones at a time. The only time it became an issue is when women had the ability to be able to make those choices by themselves. And of course, I'm a firm proponent of women having access to being able to have reproductive health and being able to make those decisions for themselves, whether it be for medical reasons or because they just flat out don't want to be a mother. But that wasn't the point. The point is that when you look at the social implications of all of these things, we know that it's drawn back to the same thing, which is, unfortunately for y'all, is patriarchy. I'm sorry that that's true, but it is true.
Also, real quick before y'all go, I just want to point out something that women don't physically abuse kids more than men do. When they talk about abuse, the biggest form of abuse for men or women is neglect, which is bad, but it's neglect. And it's like women are slightly more neglectful than men are, like BPG was saying. But when it comes to physical
You
violence,
have to make up your mind.
physical
Are the fathers in
abuse,
those child's life or are they not?
when it comes to physical abuse, men are far more likely to physically abuse, whether it be sexually or just flat out what Kenny be doing to his kids. Either one. So I don't know what the hell y'all be talking. Y'all just be up here lying. Because y'all ain't read nothing. You ain't read none of these studies. You literally heard something on TikTok a year ago and y'all started repeating it. It got added to the pamphlet and y'all been reading off that same fucking pamphlet for the last 2 years. Like, get a new pamphlet. Update the pamphlet. Y'all got to stop that shit. It's getting ridiculous. Go ahead, Racial.
Yeah, so public, from my understanding, a lot of women always talk about how the father is not there and how they have to raise these children by themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to child abuse, who do you think is the most to implore it? Once again, see,
To implore it.
they hate the accountability of it. Then now, you know, they'll say, hey, where's the dads at when we need them? Where the fathers at when they need them, right? Who's abusing the children the most then? If you're a single parent, if most of y'all are single parents, then who do you think is imploring the abuse?
You're answering your, but wait, hold on. Let's go full circle. It's almost like you didn't listen. The number one form of neglect, number one form of abuse is neglect. So, single parent, right?
Neglect?
Yes.
Physical abuse versus neglect.
Listen to what I'm telling you. The number one form of abuse is neglect for men or women, either one.
Are you talking about neglecting the fact that you're physically abusing your child physically? And
No, that's dumb. Nobody, brother. I promise you. Hold on, wait. I promise you that. Hold on, Rachel. This ain't the time to get on your soapbox. Just listen to what I'm saying.
See, I can't talk, but she can talk forever.
Because you're not saying nothing. If you have a point, you can talk. If you're just trying to be funny,
I'm saying she can talk forever, but I can't.
Because she has a point. If you have a point, I'm gonna let you talk. You don't have a point right now. You're just trying to be funny. You're just trying to, you know what I mean? You're trying to derail. So you don't see the difference? Jesus Christ. Equity, not equality, sir. Right? For the sake of the live. Okay. So, anyways, if women are tasked with watching the children and rearing the children and providing for the children, right, while the men are God knows where, then that would ultimately lead to a lot of neglect. That's what I'm saying. If there's no other parent in the house and she has to go out and work, hold on, Kenny. If she's a single parent, she has to go out, you know, and get the money and bring it home and put the bread on the table and so on and so forth. If that is what the woman has to do, of course the kid is going to be neglected. Of course. And you can blame the woman for that. Absolutely. You can also say she's neglectful because she's fucking tired, because she's beat from and the kid is still neglected because it's impact.
You can also say hateful and spiteful because the kid looks like his father. Or the child.
That's so rare. Is that what happened to you? Hold on, wait. Is that what happened? Is that what happened to you, Rachel? Did your mother do that to you and she said that it was because you look like your daddy?
Listen. There's a lot of boys and girls that are hated by their mothers because they look like their fathers.
Did you experience this? There's no there. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm saying that would be completely anecdotal. That would have to be something that you've actually seen firsthand. So have you seen it firsthand? Because there's there's nothing.
I mean, of course, I've seen a lot of things firsthand. I babysit with my little cousins. I watch it doesn't matter what I've done. I've seen a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So you've seen that firsthand.
I mean, listen. I babysit a lot of my cousins. Mm-hmm. I've helped out with a lot of children in my life growing up. Yeah, so I know how to be a good parent.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's actually the reason why I'm so selective. That's the reason why I don't have children, is because I would see the woman, and I would see what they would do. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, wow.
The woman.
Even if it's on my side, the woman on my side, even the dudes on, somebody, some random ass dude, some dude that they got.
They said racial. Stop. They said racial. Erica said racial. Racial. Hold on. Erica said racial. Stop projecting. Also,
yeah, I was like, not a black woman. I just knew not to do that.
Yeah, you just want to. We know you just want to be triggering. Hold on, Adrian. I just know you want to. I know you just like to trigger black women. That's where you get your kicks. But it comes from a. But though that is a joke, though you know what I'm saying, like you doing that is just your shtick. I do think it comes from a genuine place of you being hurt by a black woman, probably your mother, and that's why I was asking you.
Things that I've seen is things that I've seen.
Things that you've experienced personally. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, it's things that I've seen for sure. Things I've seen for sure.
Rachel, well, here's the thing, though. If you think that you see black women hating their children because the children looks like the father,
I've seen it multiple times.
So here's the thing. Then support abortions, okay? Because if the woman didn't want to be a mother, then she shouldn't be a mother, okay? So stop supporting entrapment of women by not supporting rights to
abortion.
A body of time.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're doing a bad job.
Alabama, like you know how I really feel? I feel like it's a crime that these women are forcing men to be a father. Let's say a guy was just having a one-night stand and he said, look, I don't want no children. I don't want no child by you. The girl's like, I'm pregnant. He's
contradicting yourself.
Listen, I never wanted to be with you. It was a one-night stand. I don't want to be in that child's life.
Yep.
Aborting the child. The woman's like, no, I'm keeping this baby.
So it's more shit.
And then she keeps it and they calls him a deadbeat dad. It's like, hold on, he never even wanted the kid.
So if he didn't, yeah, if he didn't want the kid,
using that as a crutch.
God damn, man. Hold on, man. I can't take all of this talking. Please, y'all. When I start talking, stop talking. I know it's tough. I really want to say some stuff. I got to. I'm sorry. Rachel, you're contradicting yourself when if in one breath, if you want to shame women, specifically black women, for having abortions, and then in the next breath say that they're unjustly making men become fathers, you are contradicting yourself. You also are contradicting yourself by saying that they're really abusive. And then also, once again, why are you talking while I'm talking? Why are you talking while I'm talking?
I don't know how when you mute me all the time.
Just stop talking while I'm talking. And also, you cannot at the exact same time say that they're the most abusive and then shame them for getting an abortion. You should be in favor of them getting the abortions, right? Based on your logic, I'm saying. You're not. You tried to shame them for getting an abortion. That's what you started off trying to shame them for getting an abortion.
I'm really for them having protection, like birth control, female condoms, Plan B right afterwards. I'm really for that. Like, not really abortion because I don't believe in unaliving people.
So you're not for abortion
for sure, and Plan B on.
Wait, weren't you? Weren't you in the military?
It doesn't matter.
It does. You just said you're not for unaliving people, but you're in the military. Weren't you just on my live the other day talking about the others could get smothered?
So I went in for a certain reason, but it doesn't matter.
What?
It does matter. It does matter. But it seems to me that.
But at the same token, let me ask you a question. The reason what I meant by I'm not for unaliving was a child. I don't believe in abortions. Is what I.
What do you think the military does in other countries? You don't think the military unalive children in other countries?
Of course we do.
Okay, then you're obviously for the unaliving of children.
See, y'all talk.
I think you keep moving the goalposts. And
you talk all that stuff. It sound great, but who gonna protect you? Who protects your dusty ass? How do you sleep well at night? How do you sleep well at night? Law enforcement, military. That's how you sleep well at night.
You're so angry, and it's like you hate women. Every time they talk about something, it's like you just use it as an opportunity to degrade and disregard and put down women, and it's falling short. You're not even being open to the fact that let's circle back to what we were already talking about, which was the neglect. You wanted to go to the physical when we were abuse. When we were talking about most of the abuse that happens is neglect, which is what the public defender just said, which could be women being overwhelmed. And it takes two to make a baby. So while you're saying that the woman forced the man to be a father, did she force him to engage in activities without protecting himself? He could have went to the store and got contraceptives to protect himself, to prevent that from happening. We all know what the consequences are of
I never heard that argument before. Like, condoms don't break. Never heard that one.
Okay, but come on now. Come on now, let's be real. Let's be real. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but that is not the majority.
Okay, so I want to go to Dreaded, and then 6. I wanted new people to get a chance to speak. Dreaded, go ahead, speak on the prompt, brother.
All right. What's the shit say? Who get modified the most? Who get objectified the most? Man, we all know women get objectified the most. That's a very simple, you know what I'm saying? Everyone knows that. There's places for that, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no place where you can go to a place and say, look at that man with all that money. But there's a place you can go and say, look at that woman shaking her, so forth and so on.
That's cool. That's true. All right.
Outside of that,
you were saying something. You said something in the comments too. I don't know what you was commenting on, what you were responding to.
Oh, I was saying, you said like dudes out here smacking kids. I'm like, damn, dudes out here smacking their kids. Like, when did all this kind of stuff start popping up, like on the frequent?
Men sexually abusing their children?
I said, when did it start popping up on the frequent?
It's on the free since forever. What do you mean? Since forever? You think this is a new concept? Men sexually abusing their kids?
No, I said when did it start popping up so frequent?
I know. I'm saying you think this is a new like frequently. I'm saying you think it's getting worse. It's been that way. What you talking about? It's in the Bible.
I know something happened. I know a lot of women that it's not happened to, but not as much as the way people are describing it. Like it's just like common occurrence. Like, go home and dad's gonna, pat you on the butt and so forth and so on.
Nah, brother.
Like,
I've been I know 2-3 women that were sexually abused by their father or father figure that was in the home with them, stepfather or something like that. 3 women that like really close to me personally, 3 of them.
I can count probably, I want to say 6.
And there you go.
But most of the stories was like either a stepfather or a mother's boyfriend.
So it's sexual abuse. It don't matter. It's sexual abuse.
Yeah. By their stepfather, which would be their father.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like paternal parentage.
Happens all the time with biological.
Paternal parentage.
Biological fathers do it too, often. Super duper high too. I gotta look that up. BPG might actually know that one. Who is more likely to do that, BPG? Because in my brain I want to say paternal in my brain, but I could be wrong.
Paternal
Okay.
fathers, and like these things, this is why we have like all of these very weird laws and rules. When it comes to, it was a lady that said that a man will hunch an armpit if he could, and no truer statement was made. Like that, seriously, it happens way more often with biological fathers than people really would like to believe. But that's across the board. Like when you talk about children being sexually abused by their biological fathers, when you talk about animals being sexually abused, when you talk about corpses being sexually abused, like across the board, those numbers are very, very high for men.
A couch.
A tree. Because I've been trying the lizard.
What men are you talking about? Like the stats on these men? Are they European American men?
They are regular, average, everyday men.
Like what percentage are African American versus European American?
Hold on, wait.
Why does that matter?
Wait. I got a question for you. So you love black men, but can't stand black women?
Yes, I can answer that one.
That's so weird.
Hold on. See, y'all not gonna let me talk. So listen, when she's talking about men doing certain type of things, I want her to specify exactly what type of men and where she got her stats from. What's wrong with that? It doesn't mean nothing about me loving myself or people who look like me, men like me. It means about stats. Let's see where your evidence is at. Where's your sources coming from? I want to see the sources. You guys just like to talk and show no proof in it that you guys talk about. You just talk out the side of your neck, show no sources.
Like you?
I think that's you. I think that. Hold on, wait. I think that's
like you know it all.
But Rachel, I think that's you, brother. I think you, because you like to project a lot. I think that's you, because I've never seen you cite a source. you don't know shit you be talking about. Like respectfully, disrespectfully, you don't be knowing what you be talking about.
Not in hostile environments. There's no point in trying to show sources when you're in hostile environments like that. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
then ditto then. You the one being hostile. We're not hostile.
You're the host. Like you're the host. You could drop me, mute me, showtime her, and let her show her proof and her sources. I'm not the host. I can't drop you and mute you.
But wait,
so,
but Rachel,
that's not a ditto. Like that's a deflection. And what the truth is that she has no sources about what she's talking about. And if she does, I
but wait.
I would love to hear them.
Yeah,
and that's the point I'm making.
BPG, we not.
Can I just have a moment one time?
Okay. You do this all the time, but you can do it again. I didn't want you to do the labor, but you can do it for the umpteenth time. You can do the labor. That's fine.
And show me what demographic.
Okay, this ain't gonna be the last. I don't want this to be the last time.
European American and versus African American.
Okay.
Which one is European American?
Okay, Rachel, be quiet. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna put her on the big screen.
Y'all like to play this. Y'all like to play this game with me, where y'all always ask me what my sources are and where I'm getting this information from. If you want to know how that affects Black women specifically,
you own books.
You can look here. No. We're not talking about owning books. We are talking about the ideation of patriarchy and how that affects Black women, how that affects women of color, whether they be.
Chapter and what page are you talking about? What chapter and page of these books are you referencing right now? What chapters and pages?
If you want to talk about William Hannibal Thomas, let me find that page.
She can't say what chapter.
Who described Black women as lascivious and said that those women were raising their children improperly. Let me find that page.
Doesn't that sound just like this? It
sounds like him.
Sound like this black man down here? That's crazy. One of the most racist white tea men I've ever read of my entire life. Laugh from the comments, homie. They got him.
Where's that page? But again, the basic point is, because we've talked about this guy before. We talked about William Hannibal Thomas before. But all of these books talk about how patriarchy affects Black people, Black men. It talks about how it affects Black women. When we talk about the ideas around Black women and how they have been seen as the type of women who like to leave their children, the type of women who like to consistently abuse their children, the type of women who like to consistently have abortions. Where is that other book at, babe? Race. Never mind. Killing the Black body. I'm sorry. Unaliving the Black body. When you talk about Black women and the things that they face, just be clear that you're not dealing with a rookie when it comes to these things. You're not dealing with somebody who's just making this stuff up and making up statistics that just feel good and that are, things that are designed to just make you specifically feel bad. Like, if you want to learn more about Black women and their reproductive rights and how people tried to sterilize them and how it was a lie and a myth that they were misusing their children, you can read this. If you want to talk about how women have been objectified since literally the 1900s, you can read this. If you want to talk about Black women moving into northern neighborhoods and facing rape and assault by the hands of police officers, you can look at this. If you want to look at why it is you feel the need to try to debunk women all the time and why you feel like you need to talk about how women are getting distortion and how women disrespected you and they don't listen to you, you can look at this. There's too many resources out here for you to be able to fix whatever the heck went wrong with you and your mama's relationship.
Are you in the master's program or are you just reading this?
I am in the master's program, but it's
What's
not
your master's program? Just this is out of curiosity, not to debunk. I believe everything that you're saying. You have to show me the books. I could already tell that you knew what you were talking about. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
Oh no, my master's is in marketing.
Oh.
Shit.
Okay.
Well, she's marketing.
She's the most educated person. Yeah, she's the most educated person on the panel, and I would be as far as to say that if public or myself had said the same thing that she said, that it wouldn't have been met with as much force. But it was coming from a Black woman, therefore it was completely disregarded. And you've got to show me the exact page and all of this type of stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't have did that even if I had them books there. But BPG nicer than me because.
But to be clear, though, the reason why I share books, though, is because I'm not the most intelligent person on this panel. I just like to read a lot. The information that I get I ain't doing the research myself. Like, I'm literally just sitting at home reading some books that anybody can read and get the same information from. So it's not even a matter of like me being the smartest one. I just got the books on hand. Like, anybody can get this information.
I disagree, but I feel you though. We don't disagree.
Except for Rachel, because he probably don't.
Yeah, we don't disagree that much, but I'm definitely disagreeing with you on that one. But that's whatever. That's my opinion. I definitely think you're the smartest person on the panel. That's just me. But go ahead, Six. What you've been in the comments yapping, brother. What's going on, man?
Yo, I never did anything. You muted me and brought me up here. I'm innocent. I'm being picked on.
Okay. Sounds like gaslighting to me. But what's going on, fam? What you got to say? What you got to say, brother?
I have nothing to say. I'm listening. I agree with you guys.
No, you don't. You was I seen one of your comments, bro. Like,
I never said nothing crazy this time.
All right.
Yeah, unmute me though.
Nah. You gonna have to. Nah. You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
I never said nothing, yo. I swear I didn't.
Yeah, they said you was. I seen somebody say you were talking crazy in the comments. Oh, how do you check people's comments? BPG, did you tell me how to check people's comments? Somebody told me that. How do you do that?
You said I see anything crazy.
Huh?
Click on their name and pull up the box, and then look at the top right hand side. You'll have 3 little dots right there. Sometimes you gotta click it a couple times. It'll show you like the last 10 comments.
I see the little 3 dots. It just says report, unmute, block, add moderator.
Click at the top, right there, outside of that bottom.
I'm on it. I'm on his name right now, though. It just says expand, microphone, gift, and then it says disconnect. That's it.
It's because I never said anything, bro. They're picking on me.
Maybe he can't be in the box when I do this.
Somebody asked me what that red and white book was. I think it said Why Men Hate Women. They wanted to know the name of the book and the author.
Yeah, I can't find it. I wish I would. I wish I could find them comments.
I put them in the comments though.
Damn, I wish I could find that.
Screenshot it next to the live.
All right.
And shoot it to you.
All right. That's what it do. You lucky, boy. I was about to.
I'm innocent, bro.
We was about to have another cooking up in this motherfucker. You know that was about to happen. Tread lightly though, because if I catch you lacking, you already know. You know what it is. Hey man, let's get up over 200,000 real quick, man. I appreciate y'all. We on a late night. It's 10:34. I feel like I missed. Yes, Charlie. Please take a minute and examine your words. Your initial stance was that men. Up, I read that one. Are these the good men and active fathers they be telling us about? Yes, Kanye West fan 09. These are indeed the same men they was talking about. Thanks, public, and thanks to the wise women on the chat. Absolutely, thank you, Heidi. That's crazy, y'all. We got to do better. The men's is wilding. Are y'all okay? Are the boys okay? The fellas not okay, man. We got something. There's something not quite.
They said they ain't no more in the back, man.
This is it, man. We in the is what you see is what you get right now, baby. It ain't clicking. The curl ain't curling all the way. The curls ain't curling all the way, y'all. We need it's scary, man. It's scary. It's something going on. It's something going on, man. Y'all drinking that Flint water. That's what I feel like. It's wild out here, man. Yeah, man. That was crazy. That was a wild ride we just went on, y'all. The hours are spooky indeed, honey. It is the spooky hours for sure. For sure.
Did Dreaded get booed?
Nah, he dropped. They all dropped.
Dreaded. He may have been headed to the studio.
He on his way to the stew. He on his way to the stew, man. They rehearsing. Late night rehearsals. Oh, man. Hey. But y'all know, man, I love y'all like a play cousin. I really do. I really do. Hey, we have arrived. We have arrived, y'all. 3 hours and 49 minutes. We did it, Joe. We did it. It's 10:36. Nah, ain't no decompression live in the whatevers if y'all want to do it. Decompression live. I'm about to make me some den. Let's get to 200K before we crash out. Decompression live in the Discord. Decompression live in the Discord. If y'all want to do it, yeah, you know what it is. Whole panel be getting drugged. Because I don't be wanting to, because this is the type of person I am. If y'all invite me to the cookout, I'm going to say hi on my way in, but I'm not going to say bye on my way out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to dip on the way out. I ain't saying bye and shit like that. So we just move it on along. Damn, hold on. Yeah. We wilding. Were you not entertained? That was one of my favorite lives. That live was all over the place. It was so unpredictable. Yeah, Jim. It don't be no hard feelings. I just be leaving. I just dip quietly. It don't be. They never take that personal. It ain't you, it's me. I just don't be wanting to say bye. Because, especially with black people, man, this might be even some country people shit. Once you start saying bye, the byes just linger. And I'll be like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here. I'll be quietly quitting. The live. I'll be quietly quitting the barbecues and shit, the family functions. That's all it is. Somebody said the decompression live suck balls in the Discord. What? How dare you? How dare you say that? We just started. I can't have it in here, man. I'll be tired. Man. You know what? We'll run the decompression live. Yeah, my backup. Oh, I could use my real backup device. Yeah, okay. We can run it on I'll do it on my iPad now. Yeah, I got the iPad. Yeah, I'll do it on the iPad. We got new JP said we got new features, haters. That was somebody in the Discord that said that, JP. That's what was crazy. So they was in there. I'm like, damn, y'all some haters. They're not even hating from outside the club. They hating from inside the club. Oh, man. I just need some water. What you talking about? Good thing you never drank the water. Hell yeah, you lucky. Hey, shout out to the YouTubes, everybody that hit the super chats. Hother, thanks for the new member. Osa, appreciate you. Self-huge. Intently. Kusua. Yes, Charlie, CR, Lady Muse, Kanye West Fan 09, Heidi, Lisa, appreciate the new membership. All the new members on YouTube too. Y'all definitely I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll put the link in there for y'all. Y'all can come in. We'll open up the window for the new members to join the Discord. I'm gonna do that once a week. But you need to start showing your thoughts on your face sometimes. I'll be done. Stop showing my thoughts. Y'all don't be knowing what I be thinking, man. Y'all don't even know. The facial expressions just come. Yeah, there's a membership in here. Y'all can sign up on the YouTubes. Oh, man, what a good night that was. Appreciate y'all, man.